Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about. Have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing tonight? Are we all good on Twitch? Dark Sun, thank you for showing up. Don't you have work in the morning, my guy? It's it's a little bit late, at least for me. I don't know about you. So we have a very special guest here tonight, Mr. John Antunes, the CEO of iClicks. Ninja, give him a hand. The mic just doesn't pick it up at all.
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was perfect. Tried your best.
Yeah.
So
Thanks
how
for
you
having
doing,
me.
sir? Yeah, thank you for coming on. What you would say it unwillingly, I suppose, or I mean, you were actually very willing, right? So
Yeah, I don't have a problem talking. The only difference is usually it's directly with, one-on-one
yeah,
in a group of people in a certain room. Now it's kind of live, so it gives it a different perspective. But hey, I'm always up for a challenge,
yeah.
and I don't mind talking to people that have lots of interests, and there's definitely some interesting topics to discuss tonight. So yes.
Yeah, no, there's a few of them, like we were saying earlier. So one thing that we do want to discuss quickly is, unfortunately, our dear CEO has handed his PC over seemingly to a botnet. You want to explain what happens when Chrome crashes to the people, sir?
Well, I think it's my own fault.
Yeah.
That I've got, I don't know, I've lost count. I've even grouped everything into, different topics in my Chrome. So I swear I've got over 200 tabs open, but okay.
Yes.
So if I just hit the right combination, then I get a very irregular bombing out. But again,
You
I
think
think I've just got too many tabs open.
you think it counts as a power up or something like that? So I mean, there has to be an achievement of that, right?
Well, I think I'm trying to prove Chrome's, limit, and
Yeah.
I think I'm reaching it right this moment. So I can say I've truly tested Chrome and its stabilities.
Yeah, no, but I think 200 tabs is a bit hectic though. That's
Not that I see 200 tabs. I just see a bunch of groups. What's happening
Yeah.
inside the groups is the problem. So yeah,
I'm
But-
actually just curious how much RAM your Chrome's actually using at this point in time.
Actually, yeah. Could you open your task manager for us and let us know
let's quickly check. Yeah,
in before it decides to take another
Yeah.
hiatus?
officially it
Yeah.
is taking 6.5 gig of RAM. That's not that bad.
It's not, but yeah, something's definitely causing problems there. Then
Yeah, I think
what-
it's just a driver with all the things that are loading graphic wise.
yeah,
I get something definitely triggers it. At this point, I think it's a combination of Chrome tabs, videos, things that I've bookmarked. So yeah, I think it's just too many things.
yeah, just way too much stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so we've got some nice things planned for tonight. Just a quick disclaimer: this is not the opinion of iClicks. Anything that is said on here, again, very quick disclaimer: this is the
Yeah.
opinion of individuals.
I feel
Yes.
like every time you say iClicks, I should be like point-to-point fiber.
Yeah, Ninja's been chilling hard, so
Yeah.
he's going to start asking for. I mean, he's got his Predator bottle. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's he's
Compliments of Acer and
Yes.
at the iClicks Gaming Expo, and thanks again for everyone's contribution. For whoever's listening, for the gaming team, we're definitely appreciative of the blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, the sleepless nights, the stress, and I think it went very well. So
yeah.
we can only learn from it and grow from here. So we've most got a little meeting tomorrow just to kind of coordinate whose responsibilities are what.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we are excited for next year's event.
So that's a question. So are we allowed to say anything about it yet? Is this
It let's use the words. It's looking promising.
okay? Okay.
Okay. So that's the, let's call it, cliffhanger for that topic at this moment. But yes, no, we definitely have a bit more time, so we're going to focus a bit more on getting, I think, the right sponsors, exhibitors, and
Yeah.
so on involved early in the game, kind of
Yeah.
test everyone's commitment.
Yeah.
Because I think the time was just a bit too tight. The time was a bit short for a lot of people to plan. So I think
Yeah.
now we've got a bit of a headway to get things in place.
No, definitely. I was actually. Oh yeah, go for it, Ninja.
No. I was gonna say on that note, it's like it's one of the things I still I find curious. That what drove you guys to actually jump into the gaming community from? Because, like I said, you guys are a service provider of ISP servers, mail, all that stuff. And yes, you guys are kind of connected to, I guess, the facet of the gaming world. But why the sudden decision to jump 2 feet in and suddenly be like, you know what, here's a chunk of money, we're doing this, let's see what happens.
Okay, that is a deep question. I think it wasn't a sudden decision. To be honest, Francois or Muffin, which was let's call it the instigator or the seed planter of iClicks Gaming, right in the beginning. I think that was where we kind of had a general discussion regarding passion for gaming. Now, obviously, I'm let's call it a OG. I haven't played intensely in a while. I think life happened.
Yeah.
But the passion for technology, gaming, the leaps and bounds that gaming has taken, has definitely still fueled that bit of passion, inside of us. And I mean, I think the passion for it grew and grew when Gareth joined as well. Got the programming going, got kind of the community together, and the rage kind of pushed it over the edge when you guys were more at Rage, and kind of got an interview with Glenn from Acer.
Yeah.
And with Planet 9 and their commitment and passion for gaming in schools and education. So that kind of opened the door a bit. I think when we had secondary meetings with Acer, and we kind of mentioned that we would like to do our own gaming expo, and then suddenly their excitement.
There was large excitement there.
Exactly. So it kind of became a thing of, oh, this is cool. We've got to interview something to kind of get the iClicks gaming channel a bit busy, posting a few more things. And then we obviously got all the guys, a lot of the guys at iClicks themselves are gamers, avid gamers. And when the opportunity arose, we kind of picked up on the interest, from firstly inside. And then when we spoke a bit deeper to Acer regarding, this whole Planet 9, and we kind of are passionate about education. And when they said their aim and their whole mission with Planet 9, which is one of their platforms, was to target educational institutions with kind of the esports exposure, that kind of just evolved to a next meeting of, we would like to do a gaming event. Next moment, they said no, they'll sponsor the PCs for the competition. I'm like, okay, this has escalated suddenly. And their willingness just to jump in and say, you know what, your vision and mission from an iClicks perspective is to provide the best service possible. It doesn't matter whether it be to a business owner or to a homeowner. We're really trying to give a all-around good service to all our clients.
Yeah.
And I don't want to label it, this client is paying more, so they're more important than another. We are focusing on our core network, which is, kind of also evolved dramatically over the years. We've definitely improved in terms of our network design, our redundancy build in terms of our whole network. And that has contributed to offering clients a better latency to a lot of the destinations where gaming servers are hosted. And out of that, it just kind of built on and on and on from that moment. And it just became a thing of, it was a thought that we kind of started, let's do something small. And then it kind of grew into something a bit bigger. We started seeing the interest out there, that the guys want somewhere to do something. And I think that is one thing about, let's call it Bloemfontein, that the guys don't always have a place to go and compete.
Yeah.
Face to face. Obviously, COVID had an effect, let's be honest. That kind of closed a few doors. There were tournaments and competitions that were happening, and then COVID kind of hit everyone by surprise. And then suddenly the online gaming community kind of grew because of that. And out of that, it also fueled our business because now everything was going online.
Yeah.
And that pushed the whole dynamic of, we are iClicks digital defined. what is digital, anything electronic,
Yeah.
anything communication, anything computer, anything server, anything website related, anything with ones and zeros, which is pretty much everything that we experience in our lives. And I mean, we look at social media, we look at the amount of followers, the amount of subscribers to different channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, etc. I mean, the people are hungry for content.
Yeah.
And I think that fuels the next step of, you mustn't forget, the human factor still wants interaction, physical interaction. And that is where we said, you know what, when Ruckus Media, and this kind of, again, all happened at the same time, where we had our gaming event in initial stages, where we said, you know, let's put it out there, let's see how it goes. And then we had Mark from Ruckus Media, which wanted to do a gaming event at the Bloom Show. And our suppliers referred him to us in terms of ISP, because our suppliers also understand our passion to technology and so on. And they said, you know what, you guys should partner with iClicks in that event as well. So we were very involved in terms of providing connectivity to the Bloom Show in general, and very focused, dedicated capacity to the gaming hall. And I mean, they had events, they had competitions, FIFA tournaments, etc. And
What?
that was just, yeah,
What was the capacity that we gave to Ruckus there, sir?
I think we gave them about 400 meg
Okay.
capacity. Obviously, could give more,
Yeah.
but it wasn't needed because we wanted to make it quality bandwidth for the whole gaming event that they were hosting.
Yeah.
We were kind of, let's call it a technology partner in terms of that. And then from that, you know, our event kind of spanned from there, because Mark is involved in esports, and you know, with the Street Fighter tournaments that they kind of have throughout the year at one of the schools, especially Parktown Boys High in Joburg. So he kind of approached us, and we kind of built a relationship from Bloom Show, and he kind of also got involved into the iClicks Gaming Expo. And from there, and I think that's where we solidified relationships, because that is where we saw the committed parties to something that was a passion, an idea. And we saw that, you know, certain people were committed from the start. And those are the core people that we will take forward going to our next event.
Yeah.
And like I say, everything just built on the Aces passion. Dan,
Yeah.
let's be honest, Dan he's passionate about gaming. And when Mark announced that he's officially brought in a esports curriculum into South Africa officially, and together with Acer, there's also discussions there, because that it fits perfectly with Planet 9 and their whole Acer for education, you know, part of Acer. Because let's be honest, where does our future come from? It comes from schools.
Yeah.
It's where passion needs to be created. Platforms have to be created for the up and coming gamers, the young talent that's hidden. I mean, we had Mosel FIFA competition. The guy that won, I mean, he's 15 years old.
Yeah.
There
And-
was how many players? I think there was over 200.
Yeah. No, there was
Yeah.
over,
So we-
according to CJ,
That was-
we did a big
was-
thing there.
It was
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So out of 250, let's call it 128 bracket, so 256, that was one young, up and coming, passionate player
Yeah.
beat them all. So it just shows you how much talent is in this young generation coming up. So
Oh,
it kind
definitely.
of it just shows that our focus is not just to sell internet or services. Our focus is to plant back into the community.
Yeah.
And obviously the community starts with the younger generation, because they need something to look forward to. They need something to kind of commit to in future, something that drives a passion, takes them away from crime, from other negative and bad influences out there, because now you're kind of part of a league.
Yeah.
So you're part of a gaming community which is kind of a bit more structured and protective of each other. It's I'm not going to call it a gang, but it's it's a gaming clan, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they just want some person, some place to play. And
I suppose it all comes down to just being accepted, being part of
exactly.
that group, especially the younger people. It's a big thing growing up,
Yeah.
finding your group and being able to fit in somewhere.
Yeah. So that's why I say all of this kind of fits in perfectly with what our mission is, to provide, this resource to the young up and coming, to schools. I mean, we got a few schools on our client list that we provide connectivity to. So this is where everything kind of fits perfectly into this picture of, why do we want to get involved in gaming? It's the whole picture of what gaming is, what gaming develops in people. And I think if I look at just in terms of like F1 simulators, etc., Gran Turismo tournaments, I mean, I've seen videos of professional driver. Again, this is probably a very elaborate comparison, but there was a physical YouTube video made of a top Gran Turismo player,
Yeah.
top of his league, maybe second or third in the world, competing with a real driver, and not a real driver playing a game. It's the gaming guy actually racing a real car,
Sure.
a real racing car. And they actually did exactly the same track. They did exactly the same tricks, drifting, your figure eights, all of those things. And the real professional driver was surprised to see how good that Gran Turismo champion was. So the fact that you can learn just in terms of hand-eye coordination, obviously his rig was properly set up, to give you kind of a real feel for the whole simulator. But I mean, it gives you that experience that a simulator can give you, real experience, which you can implement in real life.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole basis of esport. It's not just about shooting people and all of that. It's actually about playing in a team.
Exactly.
So building teamwork, communication, all of those things kind of fit into what gaming is about. And obviously ability to have reflexes, ability to react, to make instant decisions. All of that is definitely one of those things that you want to stimulate and say, what, esport can be qualified as a true physical sport.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look at overseas, it is. So
Well,
if we want to be part of that,
But I mean, so like that's sort of tying into, and we've got a few things about like the MetaHuman project and that we're going to be looking at now. Dark Sun, by the way, I just want to say, Dark Sun says well said about the younger generation. But no, he was actually telling us now, and I actually want to show the podcast this. He was saying Tome to drive Formula One car. This is apparently a sim racer, that is now actually going to drive in Monaco, looks like.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as a little boy, has always dreamt of driving a real F1 car, and nobody ever looks at this dream as a genuine possibility. If all checks are completed successfully, Tom heads into the F1 car operated by a complete Alpine Formula One pit crew to experience his once-in-a-lifetime F1 drive. So he's actually gonna be able to do something like that, and this is a sim racer.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
So-
it's great to see companies actually seeing the real life application of gaming,
Yeah,
if that's one way to put it. If you look at Microsoft's huge push into their Minecraft Learn,
yeah, that's big.
so I know, so my sister is involved in that, and I think she
Yeah.
was saying in the last year they've implemented it into 150 schools so far.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I've seen with an aspect of saying, let's say, because you get they're called world builders,
Yeah.
and they get told you need to do a history lesson, whatever,
Okay.
and you can build a pyramid and involve puzzles within the pyramid that actually involve you understanding the history of Egypt, whatever it is.
Hectic.
So it actually drives the students to learn, research something, and it's shown a huge increase in the students' just dedication to studying, basically.
I mean, it makes it also makes it a way more interactive, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've always been the type of person that learns from doing something. That's just who I am, you know. I have to do something for my brain to actually just let it stick. So
Dude.
people that learn like that's perfect for them, you know.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's like one of the things as well. It's like I grew up in that generation where like ADHD and anything that involved like a slightly different mentality of learning
Yeah.
was almost suppressed and shunned upon.
Yeah.
So the time I was in school, I struggled greatly
Yeah.
until I actually decided to leave and started physically teaching myself skills.
Yeah.
That's suddenly when my actual education increased tenfold.
Yeah.
And now it's actually schools have accepted that not everyone learns the same, and let's start
Oh, they've
accepting
started-
that the new generation plays
Yeah.
games. Let's start implementing that in what we do. Let's start implementing coding. Let's Yeah.
Speaking of, so you obviously with two young boys and that type of thing, you and I have spoken about my take on schools and universities and that type of thing. So obviously, for those of you who don't know, my take on it is kind of it doesn't help it doesn't help cramming for tests. It doesn't help doing all the stuff, and the knowledge actually doesn't stick at the end of the day. That's sort of one of the things that I hated with any form of studies and that type of thing. But obviously, if it's like a doctor, like becoming a doctor, medical doctor, becoming a civil engineer, stuff like this, that actually you need this background, by all means, go for it. But no, I've always said that it's for the industries that don't need that type of stuff for regulation and that type of thing. Learn in your way, like that you will outperform anyone that steps out of university if you apply yourself in that way for something that you love.
Yep.
I don't know. So what's your take on that?
Look, that is a topic I can talk a lot about.
Yeah.
Look, I think the picture that a lot of people, and again, I myself went through normal schooling career,
Yeah.
etc. I'll be honest, I hated studying. I'll be honest. Especially if it's something that I don't like.
Yeah.
All right, something that I'm not going to use.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not passionate about, and especially if it's something I don't understand.
The
That is
mitochondria
one
is the
thing.
powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, so
That one.
I always say the biggest thing is if we look at anything,
Yeah.
and we say, and we can look at it in all the tabloids, we can look at it at the news, we can look at it in terms of human rights, all of these things. What is the common factor? They say not one person is the same.
Yeah.
All right. So they talk about being individuals, making your own future, going forward. So what is it telling you? It's saying that not everybody is the same, number one, so we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Not one fingerprint is the same, not one piece of DNA is the same. We are all different. So
Correct.
why would you have everyone forced into one curriculum?
That's the thing.
Why would you put everyone in a box?
Yeah.
Because if I look at how things were in the past, again, the technology has evolved so quickly. Things are just running away with themselves. It's the machines are kind of carrying on.
Yeah.
We kind of trying to hold back. But if I look at how innovation has moved forward, was by people practically applying knowledge. So practical application is how you learn.
I agree. Yeah.
So you can get your education, but to apply it and wanting to apply it and pushing the limits and not saying, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
But rather saying 1 + 1 is 2, but if we work it out in a different way, we could get a different result if we change one factor in this whole equation.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I look at everything that people used to say was impossible, now it's like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
So if we just accept everything as black and white, and there's no deviation on any theories or there won't be any advancement in the technologies that we experience.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always open for an open education system.
Yeah.
Where, one child is more graphically orientated.
Yeah.
So they learn better with pictures. 100%. Identify that, focus on that, and give them that stimulation.
Yeah.
If someone is more analytical, more engineering based, more, design and so on, calculation based, 100%. Give them something that stimulates that.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I mean, like you said, Gareth, if I look at what you've told me in terms of your educational experience in terms of programming.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't go and take a coding course and just focus on one language.
No.
You went and said, all right, I want to make something. I can't do it with this code. So what other code is there? Let me learn that code. Let me apply the code. Let me mix the code. Let me combine code, and let me do something customized.
Yeah.
And not, just on one route.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you wouldn't know what you know. You wouldn't have a full stack knowledge in terms of programming, and it'd only be a C#, or a PHP.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems that I have, especially with the universities and the colleges, sir. They are producing single language programmers. Even their full stack courses and stuff like this. I mean, you just the time that I've been in business from my own, and when I've been in iClicks and with iClicks now. So, how many people have I seen that have come either into my business or into iClicks with the papers? They've got all the papers. The paper says that they can do it. I mean, a perfect example, sir. And I probably shouldn't say this here, but I really like Tabang. He is amazing. I'm not going to mention the whole situation there, but it was a similar thing. The university almost lied to him. It was one of those situations where they told him, you know everything, you know it, you know the stuff, you have the qualifications for this, and then when he got to us, he knew nothing, and again, we've had this discussion before, so you can chalk up to being a lazy student, just not wanting to learn, just cramming for the test, whatever. He is clearly not that. He is literally one of the best technicians that we have, I would say. So, and that is literally come from, he was just simply lied to from the university. Again, not going to go into names and all this type of stuff, but
I will say one thing that degrees do, especially with they have a false sense of, it's like a false safety net, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I got into code out of pure desperation, looking for work,
Yeah.
and I got offered a job to code. They're like, do you know C#? I'm like, oh, of course I do. And I started working, and I just started actually doing the research and getting into it, and the willingness to learn. But the issue is, as soon as you have a degree, like you said, they just assume like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And suddenly a curveball gets thrown, and then they're like, oh crap.
And
And
the
they try to revert that back to what they studied instead
Yeah.
of having an open mind and mixing and matching.
And the thing is
that makes
exactly
sense.
like John was saying earlier, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, fortunately, we are in the industry of that's constantly evolving on even a monthly basis right now with all the OpenAI, ChatGPT stuff that's happening. It's the university, a standard curriculum cannot keep up with the rate that people are developing new technologies and new things that are either helping or upgrading the standard that has been there now for years, you know?
I remember when I first started playing around with VR, everyone kept the favorite hot topic word in VR is exponential growth.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a load of crap until recently, especially like you said with ChatGPT
Yeah.
and all that stuff. The leaps and bounds that are happening now
Yeah.
is it's actually quite scary. The ability that you can look at a program and tell that program to create another program.
Yeah. And
it
that's
does it for
actually
you, and it creates clean code, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So
and I mean, so this is actually a good question for you. Dark Sun's asking in the chat here. He's asking what's your take on applications such as ChatGPT being able to generate code. So
Look, yeah, the fear. I think there's fear.
it's like I say in the next 5 years, so I'm gonna be able to just lie in bed, you know, let you.
I'm just saying, if we meet someone named John Connor,
we need to protect him.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely make a note of that. Look,
But,
I think if I look at technology, it's always gonna, from this point, or well, actually already a few years ago, the technology has exponentially grown.
Yeah.
And because everything is faster, and the technology makes technology even faster, and that technology makes the next technology even faster, it's just going to expand to a point where from one day to the next you're going to have ChatGPT 5, then you're going to have ChatGPT 10.
Yeah.
All right, that is the level at which the technology is aiding furtherment of developments of anything that usually takes time. Because let's be honest, anything that you create needs to be debugged, it needs to be tested, it needs to be, the issues you can't always see as, and again, humans will always have that one up on technology, I feel, because technology will never have emotion.
Yeah.
That is one thing that drives people to push the limits,
Yeah.
drives the people to think outside the box,
Correct.
drives people to interact. And technology, I think we must see it as an aid
Yes.
to better the end product
Yeah.
and better it, let's say deliver the product quicker to the end customer.
Yeah. And
We've seen it everywhere.
Yeah.
Social media, everything is an immediate response or a quick response. People, unfortunately, have become impatient.
yeah.
People are maybe getting a bit worried regarding, code being able to create other code for you. But one thing that we must always understand, logic and the application is based on factors.
Yeah.
And obviously, if those factors are perfect, then the result will be imperfect as well. So one thing I think with people drive for perfection,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
technology drives to get whatever
Results, I
you
guess.
asked. It wants a result.
Yeah.
It wants an end product.
So
Yeah.
so this is
So
actually
perfection, I think, is where we still come in as the human race. So
Yeah.
we must actually just use technology to help us
Yeah.
get a better product. We still have to look at it. We still have
Yeah.
to assess it. I mean, let's be honest. Code is a language.
Yeah.
And once you know a language, you can talk the language, you can type the language. So
No.
code isn't difficult to create once you know
Correct.
everything about the code.
Yeah.
But it can make mistakes.
Yeah.
It can you have to still assess. You still have to put in your insights and kind of give a bit of a fine tuning
Yeah.
to the result. So I don't know. I
So-
think we're still okay.
Part of this though, so ChatGPT has now released a function where you can upload files, and I don't know what the limits are on those files, but now you can upload. So what used to take data scientists just
Yeah.
hours and hours to clean the input data, they can
Yes.
just upload it, tell ChatGPT, this is what I'm looking for, this is how I need the output to look, please sort this out for me. And it actually does that now. So it's already moving towards that whole thing, like you were saying there, so of the actually cleaning it up and that type of thing. It has the function to be able to test its own code now. So it can write code and test it on the fly, which means that it can do 10,000 iterations of its code to literally get the perfect thing for that solution, you know? So, but I mean, I'm excited about it. So it's, I know Sade was very worried in the beginning when she saw that. She's like, no, she just started. But I mean, you and I have discussed this before as well. It's just simply a tool. It's just a tool that's going to make us faster. I believe in the next 5 years, no one's going to be really coding in specific languages anymore. That'll sort of fall away. It'll more be a thing of prompt engineering, they're calling it now. Where you speak to ChatGPT or a large language model in a specific way to get it to get a result out, and for it to be able to spit out the correct piece of code for you, you know. But yeah, I mean, I said to you the other day, so if you ordered an Uber and someone showed up on a horse, you'd be quite frustrated with them.
Well, dude, I think there's going to be a huge drive, especially now into machine learning.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of the main focal points. Exactly like you said, I think coding is going to slowly start falling away, especially with what already ChatGPT 4 can do. So I think it's a huge drive now into the machine learning. And like you said, like I was shocked the other day to see on Udemy the amount of prompt engineering courses that have suddenly popped up.
No,
and literally companies are already offering jobs for
prompt engineering.
engineers.
No, exactly. There's actually two quick things here in the chat, and then we're going to move on, because otherwise we're going to be here forever tonight with these. I mean, this is exactly what the podcast is for, you know. It's getting these flowing opinions and ideas out there. So Dark Sun on Twitch is saying, so going forward, would you also say that kids in school should start learning to use these applications as tools to aid them in the fields that they want to study? I would say yes, but it has to be moderated. I think you and I had this discussion as well. So it's similar to like spell check and that type of thing. You need to understand the why and all that type of stuff, as to like, why do I have to spell it correctly? You know, what is the reason for me to have this knowledge? Because one day if the tool doesn't work, you can't just be useless, you know. You can't. It can't be a crutch. I don't know. What would you say? So,
look, one thing about mind is if you don't fill it and trigger those synapses to connect, that your brain actually develops normally, you're going to become lazy. And if we don't enforce a proper foundation on the young generation to stimulate as much triggering of the mind
Yeah.
to actually, I don't mind kids coding from whenever possible,
Yeah.
because in the end they are learning what the future is all about.
Exactly.
Because, like I say, everything's driven now to a digital space. I mean, years ago, you would never have thought of social media marketing
Yeah.
manager,
Yeah.
you know, as a job.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have anything like that. So the job front is adopting technology experts
Yeah.
or those that have the knowledge of the market or the product or the whatever they have to develop. And if you then go into that field and develop yourself for that, then you know you put yourself in a better position to be hired.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
to answer that question, yes, kids should be able to be exposed to it,
Yeah.
but I think the foundation, and again the word moderation,
Yeah.
that they have to be controlled, because we've seen maturity is a big factor
Yeah.
when it comes to young children. Young children are still kids.
Yeah.
You know, they still haven't experienced life.
Mm.
You know, the olden days of just playing.
Yeah.
You know, playing, and obviously you've seen educational models where they say education through playing.
Yeah.
You know, where you have toys, but you're actually figuring out puzzles.
Yeah.
So that is the type of thing that should stimulate the kids from the start. I think they should be given a childhood
I agree, sir.
up
Yeah.
until a point, and then be exposed when you start going into your, let's call it grade 5, you know, grade 6, grade 7, around there. Start exposing them to that technology. I mean, they're still ripe in terms of absorption of that knowledge.
Yeah.
And again, every kid is, we still need doctors, we still need nurses, we still need teachers, we still need farmers, we still need all these jobs. We can't have everyone doing code,
Yeah. Exactly.
because I guess the next step would be, okay, well, who needs farmers, you know? Just automate machines and just put everything in tunnels and environmentally controlled environments. I mean,
No,
they are doing it.
Yeah.
They are doing it. But still, you need agricultural knowledge. You
Exactly.
still need botany. You still need that type of thing about how plants grow.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that. So I think kids must be exposed to everything.
Yeah.
And their passion must be given that room to kind of go in the direction that they are passionate about.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
stimulate that and take it from there. So it's a fine line there. I don't want to see unemotional people, you know, just social media keyboard warriors.
Exactly.
You know? I mean,
I think I suppose the biggest scare for people is that thing of being replaced. I think that's a big thing. And I mean, Amogelang, did I say that correctly? I hope I didn't butcher your name. They were saying, it's like machine learning is probably one of the biggest factors in technology that would be a problem, don't you think? It's not going to be a problem. Elon Musk is extremely worried about it, but he's got the whole John Connor vibes.
Yeah,
and
dude.
at the end of the day, maybe that happens. We literally cannot say right now because of the speed that it is going at. But I choose to look at it optimistically. I think it's still tens of years away, if not 100 years away, for replacing everyone at all jobs, just automating everything. But again, that people have spoken about that. The whole automation of things is not necessarily to get rid of someone and, okay, now you are going to literally live like nothing. You're going to live in the dirt. If everything's automated, no one really needs to work. That frees up people to dream, to push the boundaries, to if you don't have to worry about food, worry about a place to stay, that's exactly why scientists get grants and
Yeah.
all this type of stuff, so that they don't have to be burdened with
Yeah.
worrying about the financials, worrying about your day-to-day stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
you just reminded me of something. There was a study done about if everything was automated, we lived in a utopia,
Yeah.
everyone would be free to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And during the study, they showed that it was good for about 15 years,
Yeah.
but then eventually the whole thing completely falls apart.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, humans we need drive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It-
We need something to do. If you have nothing to do, eventually,
It's that whole
You-
thing.
yeah.
It's the strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men
Yeah.
create hard times. Hard times create strong men, and then the cycle just carries on.
exactly, yeah.
And that's but again, that I suppose that would happen, because again, us being human beings, imperfect as we are, we always want to push forward. We want to find something. If there's no problems in front of us, most of the time we'll make our own.
Pretty much. 100%.
No, that is very true.
Uh,
I think there was a statement in the Matrix where it
Yeah.
says that was obviously when the agent was now talking to Neo, says
Yeah.
the human race is a virus.
yeah.
Everything in nature coexists.
Yeah.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a hierarchy.
Exactly.
Everyone is kind of in the ecosystem, and here comes the human race and kind of
Yeah.
goes into area, rips out all the resources, consumes it to the point of nature just
Yeah,
can't supply
yeah.
anymore, and then they just move on to the next area,
Yep.
and then they carry on. And this is the part where one thing we must never forget: the world is still full of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything that gets decided needs still to be based on the people.
Exactly.
What is going
Yeah.
to make the life of every one of us better?
Yeah.
So I think in that way, all technology is driven to improve our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we must be careful. Again, if it takes over our lives
Yeah.
and we lose that humanity. So that
That's
is
it.
where the balance comes in with ourselves as the researchers, the pushers of the technology. They have to be very careful about not forgetting about that human factor, because they promote it as for the good of man or mankind or humankind,
Yeah.
but they must think about the end result and kind of manage the things accordingly.
No,
Because if
exactly.
they're just going to let the machines, again, if it gets to that point of a John Connor and Terminator and Skynet, I'm going to be worried,
Yeah.
Well, I've always
so-
said please to ChatGPT, so maybe they'll
Yeah.
maybe they'll remember that.
No, but you gotta
Let's
remember,
hope
we're
so.
good here. We're good here. The robots can't charge here.
The robots can't charge. Yeah. Yes.
point.
Yes. Actually. No, but
Great stuff.
no, but it is true. It is true. But yeah, let's move on to some of the things happening in technology, because again,
Yes.
otherwise we are going to be here the whole night. If you do hear a
Yes.
cat, that is mine. He is Orange Satan, is what I like to call him.
Gizmo.
Gizmo. His real name's Gizmo, but
Yeah.
Orange Satan.
Yes.
So, speaking of technology moving forward and all that type of stuff, Unreal Engine doing the meta-human stuff. So Frana's got this for us today. We've already looked at I think it was the Senua Hellblade actress.
Yeah.
She did that thing on her phone, nonetheless, that just recorded
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
This is basically just next level. Yeah, watch this. So this is with ray tracing now. It's
Ooh,
still,
that smile though.
yeah, it's still Uncanny Valley,
Yeah.
but it's getting way better.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. See, I mean, those types of emotions, like that type of pulling on the face, and that looks normal. The smile looked weird.
yeah.
But like that sort of looks normal, you know?
Yeah, but she's most obviously doing those facial things to kind of show what this thing can do.
Correct. But
It's scary.
I mean, it's that doesn't feel uncanny valley to me, you know?
No.
The smiles still do. I don't know what it is, why the smiles feel weird, but that type of that looks real. I
Dude,
don't know
again,
what.
I understand the smiles feel real because of the lack of emotion in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is another thing, and sorry, quick pause here. But this is another theoretical part.
Yeah.
But they were saying that we evolved to detect emotion and that type of thing.
Yeah.
There's a reason why smiles specifically are a problem for us, and where things fall into the uncanny valley is with smiles.
Yeah.
We evolved to gain that, and some people have the conspiracy theory that somewhere in the past we had to determine things that looked like us but weren't really us.
Okay, yeah.
We had to protect ourselves against that. That was now the conspiracy theory, right?
The lizard people, bro.
Lizard
Lizard
people.
people.
No, but because it's normally with an emotion that is a positive emotion that you detect way quicker if it's not real. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, sir. Like,
It's I think exactly what was said.
Yeah.
The whole emotion is
Yeah.
not just a bunch of muscles pulling in certain directions. It's
Mm.
it's how the combination of eyes, mouth,
yeah,
your facial features, how they modify. People
Yeah.
can see that you're happy
yes,
if you truly smile, and I think that's something that they're getting very close to it.
they are.
But it's that your eyes are, the path into your soul.
Yeah,
They are the windows to your soul, and I think that's where the eyes are. Yes, it's kind of getting very close to real,
yeah.
but that combination is, they just can't get it 100% correct. That
So-
combination of eye and all of that, but
Yeah.
it's very close.
I think,
Yes, it's very close.
I don't know if you guys ever watched a series called Lie to Me.
Yes, the micro expressions.
Yes, did you watch
Yeah.
that as well, sir?
Yeah.
Or not?
No.
Okay, so you'll enjoy it. It's a fairly old series at the moment, but it's actually based on Dr. Paul Ekman's work, right?
Yeah.
And Dr. Paul Ekman studied emotions, studied facial expressions, studied the art of lying, basically,
Yeah.
and how to detect if someone's lying. And smiling specifically, with us being on this topic now, when you genuinely smile and genuinely feel happiness, your eyes sort of wrinkle at the edges, right?
Crow's feet, yeah.
Yeah, the crow's feet, and I suppose the movement is too small for the senses to pick up, and that's maybe why it feels weird. It feels like it's not an actual smile.
No, that's a fake smile, that one.
Yeah.
That's a forced
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah, no, that is 100%.
That's kind of like your mom asking you to smile for a family photo.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, so this is just the recording of this, right? So I just want to take it to this part. But it's just
That's amazing, dude.
But
that
it's
is
it's actually shockingly close, eh?
it's really, really good. And the level that Unreal has gotten to as well as like an engine. Yeah. Those small movements as well. That's yes.
Look, it's definitely getting way too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to quickly just see it, you would like, oh, that's a real person.
Yeah. You would
But
not.
obviously, you kind of pick up a wait. There's some scenes are just too, too
Yeah, it's like
graphic, or it's not that real yet.
exactly.
But it's too close. It's getting. I mean, Unreal has definitely gone to a next level now.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
then-
they.
It's like in the film industry, it's going to reach a stage where it's like, look, Harrison Ford, I need your 30-year-old version of yourself. Here's $1 million. You
okay.
don't need to do anything.
Listen, sorry. Speaking of Harrison Ford, did you know
Yeah?
that there's a new Indiana Jones out?
Yeah,
Yes,
I haven't watched
correct.
it. but-
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. But I mean, what? Just let him go to rest. Just let Harrison Ford chill.
I think this specific movie is where
Yeah.
he kind of hands over,
Ah,
his reign. It's his retirement
okay.
Yep.
out of the Indiana and kind of handing over the hat to the new generation. So I think they kind of maybe doing that transition so that
Yeah.
they can do another 20 Indiana Jones with the new generation.
With the new guys. That old Bentley, how you doing? How's things going? We have a first-time chatter here, sir. So they were saying they are very impressed with how that skin movement and that happens. They saying they think that the reason why Uncanny Valley is with a smile is a smile lacks emotion and heart behind. Yeah, exactly what we were saying. So no, but I mean all of this stuff. Do you think? I think there will be in the future, like we're saying now with Harrison Ford and that type of stuff. There probably will be things in the future where they just sell their rights, as a person, I suppose, and it just gets used like that.
Are we delving back into the machines are taking over? I don't know.
So there's another. Are we gonna go into conspiracy theories tonight? Are we doing that? So there's another one that they're saying there's the dead internet theory, right? Conspiracy theory, where 90% of internet traffic is just generated by bots. Which, whenever I turn a VM on, it feels like that.
Yeah.
But but they were saying the content and everything that gets generated is just actually bots. It's not real people and all this type of stuff.
Dude, that's actually quite
It
believable.
it is quite believable. I've seen there's another YouTuber,
Yeah.
I don't remember his name now. He had a specific thing about genuine YouTube channels,
Yeah.
and the whole Elon Musk is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Not picking up these repetitive kind of pictures or videos and so on different channels, and it is bot generated.
No, exactly, and it's scary how those are the things that get massive amounts of views because everyone thinks, okay, it's Date Elon.
Yeah,
But-
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's like, if you look at our early careers in Twitch,
Yeah.
the amount
Career,
of bot
he
traffic.
says.
Yes, well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Our early attempt at Twitch,
Early attempt, yes.
the amount of bot traffic.
No, it's true
Was-
that you don't understand. So we literally had to ban certain phrases on our Twitches
okay.
because there was just bots. They're like, oh, want to buy followers. That was one of the biggest things. If you mentioned followers, you got banned. You were insta banned in our chats.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
so yeah, but no, it's a bit hectic. But another thing from the MetaHuman project, that I want to show, that Franas was doing.
Too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. God. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world.
Shakespeare in the Forest.
It is an unweeded garden that grows to seed things rank and gross in nature, possess it merely.
Yes.
But it should come
Yeah,
to this.
that's a bit hectic. That.
But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not two. So excellent a king that
I
was
have
to
not seen a more emotional cutscene in a video game. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Like at least mimicking emotion,
Well,
This-
dude, again, the closest thing I've seen to this would be from Death Stranding.
I suppose, yeah. But I mean, what engine was Death Stranding built on?
I think it was actually Unreal.
Makes sense then. So we're a bit cut on time, but so I'm not going to
Yeah.
go through this whole thing. But again, look at this.
found our fight is an unweeded garden
This
that
man
grows to seed things rank.
Is not wearing any hold on, let me move this up for you guys so that you can actually see this.
Yeah.
For stream. He's not wearing any points on his face that I can see, right, sir?
Yep, nope. This is
No,
straightforward
that's pure-
camera.
yeah, dude,
This
that's
is
pure camera
literally-
capture.
HTC Vive Pro DIY shoulder rig, a mocap helmet, and an iPhone 12 mini.
Sorry,
That's-
dude, I lied.
That is
I like it.
literally what this man is currently operating on.
Oh.
This is insane.
Dude,
But I
it's
mean-
ridiculous though.
But this is the whole point. Like stuff like this, it's just where it's moving towards is crazy. Oh no!
Yeah.
I saw this part.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we're not going to show it on stream tonight. Hold on.
I mean, just that.
Sorry, that
tiny
was a
stuff.
very abrupt changeover. But this Baldur's Gate 3 has a sex scene in it with someone that can transform into a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bee. No. No.
No, Ninja, no.
Okay, sorry
Don't
about that.
ruin that
No.
picture for me.
So this short sums it up perfectly. I love this.
Burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals. I will burn this
So-
planet down.
Yeah, there's actually a scene in there where
That's
the person transforms, and you see a squirrel drop his nut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, look, the one thing about, this is now where the whole line of humanity and
Yeah.
starts
Yeah.
becoming blurry.
Yeah.
Again, it's a moral thing,
It is.
and
Yes.
and I seriously think the guys are pushing that line
It's just-
a bit too far.
I get the whole law of the game and that type of thing, but why? For what
Yeah.
reason? You know?
There's no reason for it.
Yeah, was it literally just shock value? Like, what was it? Yeah.
Look, it definitely got attention.
Yes. Yeah.
If that was the aim, they definitely succeeded.
Maybe they
but-
only put it in there for that. You know?
well, dude. You never know. They could have gone through like I remember that one time in D&D where the bard.
The bard seduced the bear. Oh,
Yeah,
my
the
word.
bard seduced the bear, and then we got access to his honey, and we had to fight a donkey.
I like Dark Sun's comment. Are you seeing the chat by any chance? I can't. I'm not going to read it out loud, but yeah. So he first says that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be epic, and I'm sure it will. But yeah, then he's like, to be honest, don't know why they would have that in the game. Makes 0 sense, but with an F word.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, welcome, Francois. How are you doing? Oh, by the way, sir, Franas is in the bottom right corner. We have an honorary picture of Franas tonight.
I don't know if you've noticed, if
Yes.
you look at YouTube,
Yes.
because his face gets hidden behind the little iClicks logo. So when you scroll over it, he goes peekaboo.
That is beautiful. Okay, I need to see that later. Okay, but yeah, something that Franas actually wanted us to speak about, sir, was these types of learning. So stuff like code in game, brilliant.com, I think it is. All these types of things. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think this has a place in learning? Like, where's this place in learning?
Look, obviously this is just some of the sites.
Yeah.
There's obviously Code Kingdoms and
Yeah.
and other, actually quite a few educational coding things
Mm.
based on Minecraft or Roblox, etc. I think the placement of this is again in the gaming space
Yeah.
to already get some more content, some kind of fresh inputs, kind of get that new injection of talent into coding industry. I think it's
Yeah.
excellent. It was always, I think the problem was previously you had
Yeah.
to go to school, had to pass then you had to go to university, you had to go into coding. You know, it was very, it was out there. It was 10 years into your life or
Yeah.
whatever. You know? Now they kind of triggering the young generation to kind of code from young,
Yeah, it makes it more
And-
accessible.
and it becomes just like learning English and Afrikaans and Sotho and different languages in school.
Yeah,
This kind of gives you just another language.
exactly.
It's a digital language. So
Yeah.
if you get that language down, that it becomes kind of a quick discussion, but digitally.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to improve the content that's going to be released. I think the gaming developers will probably open the doors to, you know, coding competitions.
Yeah,
You know, please enter. And I mean, it's going to bring that young talent into the industry.
exactly.
And then we're going to see, you know, a lot of young talent designing models, games, complete games from scratch
And-
from a younger age. So I think that's a great start.
I think the big thing in South Africa is it's quite difficult to become a game developer. Not impossible. Again, we had this discussion with the girl that was shadowing. So, and it's not impossible to become a game dev. You know, in South Africa, it's just a lot harder because there are no studios that I'm aware of. At least massive studios in South Africa, and it makes that barrier to entry is just all the more like harder to get through, you know. With this type of thing, I mean, if I had this when I was younger, that I would have been spending all my time on this, you know, being able to see if I can solve the problems in that. But I think stuff like this. It opens up so many doors to people that wouldn't normally have access to it. Because again, I don't even think in the universities, I don't know if you know, so I don't know myself of any game development courses that they offer. I'm not sure
No,
if
there is Unity game dev courses and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Okay,
They
but
do offer those. But
Okay.
again, it focuses more on the code
I see.
and
Yeah.
all the visual aspects of it. Does that make sense?
I mean, fair enough, but okay, so that's at least there. That's at least a good thing, you know, for people to go through. But yeah, here's actually a question. What do you think on BattleBit's explosion into the gaming scene and its success? I think we have got a discussion point on it later. No, we don't. We don't have a discussion point on it. You want to guess why, sir? Because a certain McMuffin set up a lot of this document, and BattleBit's dethroning Battlefield at the moment.
Yeah,
Well, dude, you got to look at it. BattleBits is a throwback to the old Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I suppose. But
100%. It's a throwback to that old school style of what DICE used to do.
basically, BattleBit is Battlefield 4 in Roblox. So
Pretty
if
much,
you
yeah.
if you can think about it like that.
Dude, that's
but
actually
my
a great way
kids
to
will
look
love
at
it.
Yes.
That's actually a great way to look at it. Like,
Yeah.
what might have contributed towards its explosion was the acceptance of that pixelated Roblox style, that
Exactly.
art style.
No, like that is definitely one of the things there, you know. I'm just actually looking here quickly. I think we
How many
did.
kids do you
Yes. Okay, so it's
how-
actually after this. We'll discuss it after this now.
Yeah. How many
Yeah.
kids do you think saw BattleBits being shown on YouTube and they're like, ooh, what server is that on Roblox?
Oh no, guaranteed.
Look, I think the biggest thing is the game developers are also looking at where the majority of the players.
Yeah.
And let's
What
be
types
honest,
of games,
the
yeah.
young crowd is Minecraft,
Yeah.
Roblox.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the
100%.
two massive platforms that have the attention of the young and up and coming gamers. So
So
it's a precursor to the next level of gaming. So
yeah.
you know, Roblox gets them exposed to, you know, shooting, to strategy, to all of that
Exactly.
in a fun, non-explicit type of gaming environment.
Yeah.
let's be honest, the games nowadays, they are very graphic.
Yes.
And
Yes,
obviously
to say the least.
they want to at the least.
Yeah.
So I think it's a subtle way of just getting the games out there in terms of storylines, just kind of general gameplay.
Yeah.
And then from there, guys will want something a bit more next level.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts going into the harder core
Yeah, the Call of
gaming,
Duties,
you
the
know,
yeah.
Call of Duties and all of that.
No, exactly. But I mean, so one of the things that we have there, we're going to speak about Roblox after this. Roblox actually has 43.2 million active daily users.
Really?
Wow.
It is insane. For
My-
anyone,
my kids are two of them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, actually, I was actually shocked to figure out my financial director's daughter plays
Yeah?
a lot of Roblox as well.
yeah. I mean, well, the company's gone public and everything. Do you know
Yeah.
that? Like
Oh,
they,
really?
yeah.
Oh,
They make so much money. It's not
Well,
even, yeah.
Dude, I'm saying kids make money on there as well. Like, I was shocked to find, like, you know how we would trade, let's say, CSGO skins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on Roblox, you could take the time to create your own items
Okay.
and then sell them
Yeah.
What?
for Robux
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
to buy other items you want. Like, dude, it's great. Like, she has started a whole thing about making hats,
Yeah.
and she makes tons of Robux just from making hats.
What the hell?
It's ridiculous, dude.
That is, yeah. But I mean, anyone that thinks. So I obviously jumped onto the bandwagon of like Fortnite and, oh yeah, you know, just crappy game and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's blew every other game out of the water, you know. So I don't think even COD has 43.2 million active users per day, you know.
No.
So yeah. Speaking of, we have the update to Call of Duty.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, the boys are now in Call of Duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's so many people. CJ was not happy about this one.
I was like, what? How did this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, dude. CJ, I'd like to say CJ. Call of Duty is. I know they're going through a bit of a poopy time.
They're going through a Fortnite phase, I'd call it.
Well, they're not doing that. It's like the way they're fighting their content creators right now.
Yeah.
And their biggest content creators is also like 50-50. Like, I don't know where that's coming from either.
Oh, hectic. But I mean, like, look at this. This is so people were complaining as well. Apparently, that laser thing is just like a one-shot kill.
Oh,
If you-
really?
If you hit someone with it, they're dead.
Look, dude, if they add the Spidey webs in, I might play more COD.
The Spidey webs. Amo Gelang, sorry, is saying imagine GTA 6 on Unreal Engine 5 mechanics, and they are also not happy with this update to Warzone, worst update ever.
Really?
Yeah.
And to make a comment on GTA 6 is they got to stop making DLCs for GTA 5.
True. People have got to
Yep.
stop buying that, and then
Yeah.
Okay, so Sir Dark Sun's asking when are we doing the BattleBit server, iClick's BattleBit server? When is the question? Yeah. I think Dave's gonna actually shoot me.
Yeah, I think that's a definite possibility of the shooting, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The server hosting, we must. You are busy with a few game server
Correct.
hosting, so
Correct. That's why I say Dave
guess
is gonna
it's-
put me down.
look, in the end, we're gonna have to look at it as a way to bring in more interest
Yeah.
and more attention. So,
Yeah.
I guess the term is jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And I think if the interest is there,
Oh, we put it out
then
there.
it would be a possibility. But again, it has to be discussed internally first.
I'm gonna yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So when is iClick starting their game server rental service?
When I'm allowed to sleep.
Okay.
When you're allowed, no, it's
Yeah, yeah.
if you sleep, then
Oh,
things
yeah,
aren't
sorry.
happening. So you aren't gonna sleep. Point.
I mean, dude,
we
I just
can't-
remember one day. I
Yeah.
just remember one day even I got a random phone call from somebody. They're like, "Where's Jay? Where's Jay? I need him." And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm in bed." Try phoning him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was
Yeah.
so there as always things happen in technology. Then a server was being wonky and no one could reach me except because my phone is set to do not disturb with people that are in my favorites that would
Side note: I'm not
Let-
in his favorites.
you are, that's why I woke up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so all I'm saying is though, right? I went to bed at 4 o'clock that morning because I was playing Satisfactory. I think it was Satisfactory.
Yeah.
Yes.
As
Anyway,
PC.
4 in the morning, right? And I woke up at 8, went to the toilet, you know, and I saw a message on my phone saying, "Hi, are you awake?" That was the message. So if you see that message on a Sunday morning, are you going to respond to it, or are you going to go back to bed if you went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning?
If those were the exact words, then
Yes.
it would be like, I'll answer this when I do really wake up.
Yes.
So,
That was
yeah.
yes, that was my exact feeling because those were the exact words. And then I said to Henny, "Listen, if there's problems in the future, please, for the love of God, tell me there's a problem. Don't be like, yo, dude, are you awake?"
Yeah, no, wrong words in that situation.
Yes, but anyway, moving on. I suppose with the game servers and that, yeah, that's a discussion that we have sort of had, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not want to be shot
Yeah, look,
live on
nothing,
stream.
yeah, nothing's finalized yet.
Yes.
But it's the whole concept hasn't been shot down,
Yes.
if I can put it that way. So we just need to iron out all the
We have to-
little niggles and issues, and then
We have to
then,
give
I
Dave a
think
lot more tea.
no problem.
No
Uh,
problem.
I'll organize a box of it.
Organize a box. But yeah, so coming back to the games and all that type of stuff. So Roblox is going to the MetaQuest VR headsets. So kids can now experience seasickness, I suppose, or car sickness. So the next question, and the only reason why I've included this here today, sir, is when are you getting your boys a VR headset? And remember, this is live and in the public.
Okay, the topic
Mm-hmm.
is not new.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
the concept of VR has been brought up, I think, the whole of this year.
Okay.
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 It's like they're saying, so can I get it for Christmas? Can I get it for
Yeah.
this time or that time? And I said, look, when you can afford it,
ah.
then you can get it.
Okay.
So my youngest is, I must say, I'll be honest,
Yeah.
during the expo there was most that VR experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a first time VR scenario, I mean, he was like top 3
Oh.
playing that game. I mean, Johan from Compuden was also like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
he's actually playing quite well, because everyone else is like kind of getting the feel. But I mean, he was just in it, doing the movements like a pro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it because he's my child.
Yeah. I mean,
He was
stats
proving
show.
a point there. So
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, okay. This guy is, and one thing about my youngest is he kind of just puts the word in there, you know,
Uh-huh.
every once in a while, just
Oh, yeah.
keeping the little flame alive.
Yeah.
So it's
Similar
look,
to
it's
the
inevitable.
drone
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that seed is still
Yeah.
deep in the ground.
So he's been putting in the persistent work. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, but I must say, one thing I tried to encourage is that they understand the value.
Yeah.
So if you put aside money
Yeah.
and you build up a kitty and you really want it,
Yep.
but you pay it out of your own money,
Hmm.
then I'll consider it. Obviously, age is also a thing with VR and certain limitations and all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And knowing him, he'll just keep the VR headset permanently on and just VR the whole day away. So,
Yeah.
so I want to kind of give it a bit of time, just kind of test the whole thing. And look, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I've got one of those Samsung Oculus
Yeah.
things with a old S7.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a VR experience, which I kind of exposed them to just to get that slight VR bug settled a bit. But obviously, I'm also waiting for the new VR headsets to come out. There's also launch of version 3.
Yeah, Quest 3 headset is arriving in this fall. So I don't know if that's the American fall or ours, but yeah.
Most probably the American.
Yeah.
Dude,
So hence why I'm waiting to see what the Quest 3 brings, then make a decision on that.
Yeah. Okay. No, well, that's you can tell him that he needs to go and clip the stream and make sure that that he has that there. But yeah.
So you got a question on YouTube there.
Yes, yeah. So will iClicks introduce FIFA to the channel? Well, I believe pro clubs on FIFA is growing. I have a few friends who are recruited from the iClicks Expo and Bloom Show and joined pro clubs league with 50 plus teams. That is awesome. So yes, we will be doing that. We are introducing leagues of our own in the CSGO, the Dota, as well as FIFA and Street Fighter or a combat game. So it'll probably be Mortal Kombat when it releases. But yes, we are actually doing that. Most likely, it'll be Francois and them from NextQuest. That will help us out there with the FIFA side. We did have a meeting with them and discussed a few things. So yeah, we will be doing that, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the iClicks Expo. I think that's the biggest part there, is that everyone that attended actually had a fun time, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. But on the next topic, so an EA Studio Cliffhanger Games, they are apparently doing a Black Panther game. So based on like Marvel and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not optimistic about this one, simply because of the previous Avengers games, and like it just boils down to normally either a fighter game, you know, like it's Capcom versus Marvel or something like that. I don't know. It's very difficult with these types of games to make it something along the lines of like Star Wars. What's the new one with Ginger Boy?
With Ginger Boy, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
the new Star Wars
Jedi
game.
Survivor.
Yes, like Jedi Survivor. That was like everyone loved it. You know, it's very difficult with these IPs to make something like that. I don't know. So what do you think about a Black Panther Marvel game?
Look, one thing I must also note,
Yeah.
like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
that I guess if they do it in the same principle, but again, noting that Spider-Man kind of has a bit more movement, he's got his webs and so on. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
So if they can do anything close to that, related to a kind of a Spider-Man scenario, with that type of gameplay, I
think
guess
then it will
has potential.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something that Spider-Man, you know what to expect. It's proven itself, and they brought out the Miles Morales, and you know, it kind of carried on, and it's got a storyline that kind of drags on.
Yeah.
It's fun to play.
Exactly.
And I mean, so my youngest again, he finished Spider-Man. Go figure. I was like in total shock that he was so go into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's if they can do the same with Black Panther, I guess it's got some potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
then they
suppose.
really have to make a proper storyline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. So
I
let's
think
more see.
because a lot of times, like with these games, they sort of move away from the actual storylines and that, and
Yeah.
that's not a problem. You know, there's no issues. The comic books. I mean, there's comic books where Steve Rogers was with Hydra and stuff like that. You know, that's not the point. It's just a lot of times they move away and the story is not good. It's
Yeah.
just so as simple as that.
Look, I think with Marvel, a game will work if you have sub storylines that
Yeah.
kind of link up.
Yeah.
You know, because if you look at all the Marvel series that had, well, obviously Spider-Man, and it's, you know, the Iron Fists, and it's
Yeah.
got, what's the other one? Can't get the name. Ugh, the lawyer.
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Yeah. You're right.
That's a Daredevil. I mean, that all comes back into the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
You know, so that kind of brings everything together, where it's the same city and
Yeah.
so on, and you get those characters kind of filtering in. Now, obviously, Black Panther, they seriously got to kind of go beyond Wakanda, you know, and
Exactly.
kind
Yeah.
of go and link up extra stuff, and not just be Black Panther kind of going on a mission,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I think if they do that integration, and I mean, look, the MCU is massive.
Yeah.
So there's no way they wouldn't bring some other elements into the thing if it's truly pushed by Marvel.
Yeah.
Then obviously all those elements should come in. So if they do something like Spider-Man and bring all those interactions with the other scenarios, then I think we might have a game to look forward to. But
Yeah.
again, let the demo come out and then we can give further comment on that.
Yeah.
Actually,
no.
no,
def-
actually, no. The main point, as long as it's not a pre-release deal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
So, quick comment here before we move on to the next thing. That old Bentley was saying the expo was so cool. As a huge esports fan, it was so nice to have an event like that done locally. That sort of thing just doesn't happen here in Bloom. Well, we are very happy that you enjoyed it and actually had fun as a fan there.
Yeah, no,
I had a blast with that event, dude.
yeah. Now I think coming back to that question we started with of
Yeah.
why we did the event,
Yeah.
and it was exactly that comment kind of hit the whole purpose of the game. So thank you for that comment, because the whole idea was to create something in Bloom, not Joburg, not Cape Town, not elsewhere, central in Bloom, that grow to the point of maybe Rage or better than Rage, that actually brings Joburg, Cape Town to Bloom, and
Yeah.
actually makes Bloom a place to come to for an event, you know. So hopefully we can put something down that becomes an event that is put on the map as an event to attend.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to aim for. So look, we're very excited. There's a lot of extra things we want to add.
Yeah.
If everything falls into place. But yeah, no, thanks for that comment. We appreciate it.
Oh, awesome. So Dark Sun is also commenting here, but jumping the gun. Microsoft, the deal's basically almost through, sir. Finally,
Yeah.
finally,
Really?
this has been sitting there forever. So the $69 billion. It was not $69 billion. I still remember Asmongold making the 69 joke. It was 68 point something billion dollars. It's just scary to see that in rands, because it's 1.25 trillion rand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
It's scary.
yeah.
How much money is, but this proves a point. How much money is actually in software and how much
Yeah.
money is in games?
Oh, exactly.
I mean, so if I look at this transaction, look, one thing that I guess Microsoft, when it started,
Yeah.
kind of set a precedent, kind of had this take over the world kind of approach.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be honest, with the investment in ChatGPT or OpenAI, the billions or millions that they invested,
Yeah.
wasn't 13 million. I think that's one of the
I think.
the topics as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just shows you, and I get Xbox as a brand of Microsoft, a gaming brand of Microsoft,
Yeah.
where they want to make sure that they are relevant in all the platforms, because I think them having these major names under their group
Yeah.
of gaming titles, I mean, puts
It's-
them on a different level.
No, it does. I
I
mean,
guess gives value to the guys. I know with Xbox, there's got, you know, those your live Xbox Live,
yeah, the Game Pass.
subscriptions and Game Passes
Yeah.
and all of that, which I guess helps to push in all these other games and make it available to everyone. You know.
So this is the thing. With this, I mean, Microsoft has always fallen part of like the anti-monopoly, anti-competitive, all this type of stuff. You know, that Microsoft is always just the top dog.
Yeah.
They
It is.
they've always been there. But another scary thing, and I think we discussed it last podcast, something that people don't realize, Microsoft owns the modern developers, like code developers.
Yeah.
Microsoft wrote or owns Visual Studio Code, which is the biggest text editor out there. Fight me, Vim users. They own GitHub, like the entire
Yep.
thing. They own GitHub Copilot, which is now trained AI that can write code. So yeah, and they basically own ChatGPT. They don't actually. They've got, but I mean, I think they've got a massive stake in it, right? So it was like 40 or
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah, no, they bought a big chunk of it.
So they've always had these types of things, and the world hasn't come to an end. And I have definitely benefited. You know, yes, again, whenever you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars, people, whatever that you're affecting, there will be people that don't like you. You know, there will be people that they've hurt. There's a lot of coders that have said they just over it. They don't want to upload their code anymore because it's just not their code.
Yep.
It just gets trained into a chat model, and now everyone knows how to code like them.
Yeah.
Which
Dude, it's kind of like the death of open source, basically.
yeah, but again, I don't see it that way. Like I obviously see, yes, people have gotten hurt and all that type of stuff. I understand that, but a lot of times we have this thing where we look at, and this is getting into very dangerous territory, yeah, because one person getting hurt is too many. I 100% agree with that. But if it's not changing your life in a substantial way, then it's not such a major problem to me. It's very this is a very fine line that I am treading here. But again, we focus a lot on the problems, where there are literal millions of developers. Okay, let's say hundreds of thousands of developers that benefit from this. You know,
100%, yeah.
so when it's non-consensual, I don't agree with it. In terms of like people's code just being used and they don't know about it. That's not right to me. But again, you can sort of make the argument they didn't read the T's and C's, you know, because it's always been there that if you upload code to the platform, Microsoft has full access to it, you know.
It's kind of like the same thing with Unreal. They say
Yeah.
if you make a game on our platform and it does well,
Yeah.
we are
They a
we
stakeholder.
get X amount.
Yeah. And that's how they keep their free model. And again, hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of game developers benefit from that.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
it's, you get your people that are now angry and are they just taking my money, and that, you use the tool that cost them millions and millions of dollars for free. You know, it's there's a give and take to everything. But coming back to this specific deal, they have to close this by today, actually. Oh,
Really?
yesterday. Sorry, yesterday. They had to close this by yesterday. So if they did not, and I don't know, I haven't seen any news about it, there would be a $3 billion
Yeah.
fee. that is. Have you ever seen something that big in business?
That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
Look,
Sorry, guys, I'll be right back.
No
yeah,
stress?
I think the biggest thing here,
Yeah.
and I understand the approach in terms of the anti-competitive nature, because competition kind of drives development.
Yeah.
Kind of pushing the envelope, get things to a point.
Yeah.
Maybe Microsoft in this approach, obviously they want to consolidate all that code
Yeah.
into, a ultimate product that they can maybe give benefit to others. Like I say, the ChatGPT, the investment in that, getting it obviously into their browser, Bing,
Yeah.
to provide that to the
service.
end user.
Yeah.
So they're trying to improve the end product to give
And-
the end customer a better experience. But
Exactly. Look, the thing is that again, it's that double-edged sword there, because the good side of it is they've got Xbox Game Pass, which there's I don't know, probably about 100 games on there. Yes, you don't own it, but at the same time, those games stay on there for very long. And they are showing, they're not just saying, yeah, but we're going to make it better. If we have it, we'll make sure it's available to the public. They are showing that, I mean, Starfield, the Bethesda game that's coming out, so that's coming, I think it's day one to Games Pass. So now you don't have to pay 900, 1,500, 1,600 Rand for the game, because there's no more demos these days. Now you don't have to pay that money. You can pay Games Pass, and again, if people like the thing, they will buy it. They will make sure that they have it forever. It's the same thing with. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, and I don't know if it's a good line to tread here, but on piracy, there's been multiple studies that have shown piracy actually increases sales in the long run. You take a knock in the beginning, yes. But in the long run, it actually increases the sales because people like the thing and buy it. I don't know if I should say this, but there was multiple games when I was younger. I was underage, so I suppose I can't be held liable for that, right? So, yeah.
I plead.
But I mean, I was when I was younger, there was a lot of games that I pirated, and those games are now in my Steam library. Like I went back and purchased them because I had fun doing it. I had the money now. I wasn't listed. I'll just go and look for the crack and there might be a virus in it. And no, I can buy it on Steam. I have the money now. I'm going to do it. And
Well, dude, what I used to do back in the day as well, same thing.
Yeah.
I'd crack a game, and if I actually enjoyed it,
yeah,
then I'd go buy it.
yeah,
But at the same time, I'm a poor ass teenager.
yeah.
I'm not gonna waste money I don't actually have on a game that might be bad.
And and yes, there will be a lot of people out there that don't have that view, that are just there to take. You do get that type of thing. But I don't know. I suppose we're not game developers, so we can't really say.
I will
Look,
say one great thing.
yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
No. So
I was gonna say one great thing that's come out of the new age of trying to crack games is developers are like, okay, cool, our games can get cracked,
Yeah.
but let's put something in the game
Yeah.
to make their lives really difficult.
Yeah.
Like in Elden Ring, I know what they do is that if it's picked up that you have a cracked version,
Yeah.
NPCs that you should talk to and get information or do quests for automatically just try to kill you
What?
for no reason. They just get up and start cutting you up.
That's quite funny.
It's glorious.
That's quite funny.
Yeah.
They-
look,
yeah.
it pushes the envelope of the developers as well to curb it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they find their ways of curbing this. I think everything stimulates something else. And,
Yeah.
and again, rightly said, there's always the good side and the bad side. And I think the approach of giving a affordable, Game Pass, etc.,
Yeah.
kind of makes expensive games more available to those that can not afford
Yeah.
to buy it. So rather get the exposure, get the name out there. If you really enjoy the game and it's something that you want to play, you will buy it.
Exactly.
And that's what the whole Game Pass principle is. It's like, try it. If you really like it and you want to keep it permanently in your library,
Yeah.
then you buy it,
No,
and you buy
exactly.
it at a discount. So I really think, and it was the same with Forza.
Yeah.
When that came out, I mean, it was available on Game Pass. I mean, that just shows, I guess, that commitment to give back for this investment. And again, it's good publicity. It pushes sales on consoles. It pushes sales on computers and Windows software. Everything kind of stimulates the next purchase.
Exactly.
Because again, if you love PCs, you know that you are inevitably going to upgrade for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
nice thing,
Get stuck in that loop.
you're stuck, and that's how it is. But
Yeah.
if you in the console space, the one thing about consoles which I will always give kudos to them,
Yeah.
is if you have a PlayStation or a Xbox and you can play a game on it,
Yeah.
you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
If you can buy the game, you can play the game.
Yeah.
Point. And I think that's what makes it the other thing of buying a game.
Yeah.
I buy it knowing that I can play it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a game that, I just realized that my PC just can't handle it and I'm going to have to spend another 30,000-40,000 Rand on upgrading my machine. So,
Exactly.
So it's a fine line, and I guess that's why Xbox, Microsoft delving into two spaces is excellent, because they cross platform of console and PC, and being able to, like with Forza, being able to play on your PC and on your console with one purchase. That is what you actually want, and not having to buy on two different platforms.
Exactly. And I mean, again, so exactly like you say, it brings that accessibility there. That's always been a thing of mine. If someone, because it's a game, it's meant to be there to have fun, to have a breakaway from reality. I believe everyone should have access to something like that.
Exactly.
There should never be a thing that, I don't have enough money, so I can't, and that it should never be that case. So what Microsoft's doing, I think it is pretty good. I mean, they signed a 10-year deal now with Sony to say that they won't make it exclusive and that type of thing.
I think that's the other worry.
Yeah.
That if Microsoft buys Activision, Blizzard, etc., now suddenly it becomes no, it's only Xbox, it's only PC, no PlayStation, sorry, and they kind of kill a product. If they go that route, they are going to get flamed like nobody's business, because there's still your avid PlayStation gamers, and if they say, okay,
no, this is what you're going to do,
another platform, that's just going to kill Microsoft, it's going to kill Activision. I think there'll just be a boycott in general, just out of the principle. But one last point on that, affordability. We were talking about the coding websites and Brilliant.com and Udemy and all of these things, and it's exactly about that. The affordability of exposing to something that you can test and try. If it's your thing, then you go deeper into it. And you then invest further into developing yourself and being a coder or whatever. So I'm definitely always positive towards any platform that can give access to your or young generation
Yeah.
affordably,
Yeah.
just to again plant that seed.
No,
You know,
exactly.
and once that seed's planted and it's like, yes, this is actually what I love.
Yeah.
Now I want to go further. Parents, I think, appreciate that as well. Instead of saying, hey, I want to do a coding course,
Yeah.
they pay 20,000 Rand for the year, or 30,000 or 40,000 Rand with books and everything,
Yeah.
only to realize that
That's
you've done
not
one
for them all.
semester
Yeah.
and it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And you have to go another direction. So
Yeah. No,
I think
it's-
all of these little things kind of say, you know what, I've tried it, I've stuck with it.
Yeah.
I want to take it further.
Exactly, and the thing is, it also breeds a better, more focused person in that profession. Because
no, that-
if someone doesn't love what they're doing, it's very difficult for them to keep moving forward. You know, to
Of course.
okay, I had a shitty day at work yesterday. I'm just not going to carry on. You know, I'm going to look for a different field, whatever. And you don't want to see that, you know, because that hurts not only the person, it hurts the business, it hurts a whole bunch of different things, you know.
Of course, yeah.
So you don't necessarily want to see stuff like that. So before we go on, I know you guys can see this on the screen already,
Yeah.
but the chat and everyone can't see it yet. But Dark Sun was saying, so he obviously loves it suits the consumers with Microsoft and that type of thing. He was saying that accessibility is always king. And then that old Bentley was saying, people who can't afford a game may get a crack, but if no crack is available, then they won't suddenly purchase it. They just won't play the game. So there's no real loss. So I think that the goodwill earned by letting cracks get out can actually have great value. When that person gets the money, they will first buy the games of devs that earn their heart, even if it's from a game they cracked. I agree. I 100% agree with that, you know.
And also, I have a huge standpoint that I think video games are becoming one of the best storytelling mediums
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. It's just way more immersive because
Yeah.
you are playing the character, you are
Exactly.
doing the thing, you know, it's you are driving the story forward. So yeah. But this that's on the screen. So Team Fortress 2 got an update recently, and one of
Really?
Soviet Womble's friends said it perfectly when they played Team Fortress 2 a couple years ago. They were saying that their calendar doesn't go back to 2006. But yes, Team Fortress 2 actually got an update. This is one of the new
That's amazing.
characters. So his name is Saxton Hale. He's from Australia. This is all he wears, by the way.
Okay.
So as you see, he's the CEO of Manco. But yeah, so this is actually one of the new things. They brought this out, but apparently they brought out like 14 new maps or something like this.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
I don't understand. It's that do they just have like the developers locked away or something like that? That they're like,
Don't know.
you won't see your families again until you do this. I don't know what
Yeah,
it
but then
is
again,
there.
I think like TF2 was always a bit of a passion project for the devs. I think.
I suppose, yeah. No, I think that's that was definitely the case. But I mean, a lot of people love TF2. Dark Sun in the chat, yeah, is saying yay TF2. Francois is about to get banned because he's talking about CryEngine.
You mean the thing that turns your computer into a heater?
Yes, basically.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then yeah, we're gonna speed through one or two of these, yeah, because it is 12:15.
Yes.
I know this is just when you start sending your emails, sir. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm actually fully awake now.
Yeah, now you're good to go. So, Corsair actually purchased what's this thing?
Drop.
Yes, Drop. Thank you. My light is in the way. I apologize to everyone that is now seeing my hand. But yes, they purchased Drop keyboards. So Corsair actually owns a lot of things. They own Elgato. The mic that I'm busy
Yeah.
streaming on. It's the same mic that you have, right? So.
Correct, yeah.
So yeah, I've got the voids on. You know, it's they are really good at what they do, and they keep the brand like excellent quality stuff, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the focus is majority quality.
Yeah.
They want to
Yeah.
set themselves at that level.
exactly.
Whatever you buy, you get your value out of it. So
Yeah. And I mean, this is definitely one of those things with with what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I've always really enjoyed Corsair products. Some of their things are overpriced, like we were saying, the mic arm for like 2,000 rand, stuff like
Dude,
this.
but have you also noticed, like,
Yeah.
they're really well priced on certain things, and suddenly they go like, you know what, this one little screw you need,
Yeah.
we're gonna charge you 4,000 rand for this.
Yep. So yeah. Corsair doing
that is what they
doing fun
the
things.
balance. They're still figuring out the balance.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the pricing model isn't
I think-
100% there yet.
I think their maintenance team. So they've got people from Linux,
Yeah.
that are doing their main products, the affordable stuff, the stuff that they want to get out there, and then they've got just the Apple development team. For
Yeah.
for their maintenance
much, yeah.
side of things, it's like, oh, this screw's $1,000.
Let's sell this screen without a stand.
Yes, the stand is optional.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Franas found this today for us, sir, and wanted you to speak about it and that.
I've been hearing about this Li-Fi for ages, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, look, it's been around. It's been around for years. We used to. Well, I didn't have personal experience on it, but I knew people that actually used laser links.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a difficult thing compared to the normal wireless that we have now, where alignment it's important, but it's not critical to have it at pinpoint precision. And you can just imagine a laser to laser connection, how precise that connection has to be to keep that connection going in terms
Yeah.
of data. So this is literally
I suppose rain
The
would
same
kill that,
thing.
right, sir? Or is the light
Look-
not in a spectrum that would be affected by that?
light.
Because it's refraction, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Refraction obviously missed that type of thing. That's why it only
Yeah.
works on certain distances,
Okay.
because of exactly that.
Yeah.
So yes, they can achieve very high speeds. The biggest thing is obviously don't get really factored, let's call it, with interference, because it's
Yeah.
not frequency, it's light.
Yeah.
But again,
If the light gets interrupted, that's sort of interference. So
exactly. So you can only use it optimally, let's say, indoors in a
Okay,
controlled environment.
yeah.
Short distances on the outside as well. And I mean, this tech is old. I mean, 2015. That's
Yeah.
that's when it actually got kind of introduced. So practicality-wise, yes, I would say it is usable.
Yeah.
It's not, if I look at it in the wireless space, what's the biggest issue is different providers that work on the same frequency band
Yeah.
hopping on each other's frequency. So you constantly have this interference, noise floors, etc., that
Yeah.
impact your quality of signal because of people not actually either knowing the technology they actually operating,
Yeah.
which I think is one of the topics that unfortunately is a reality nowadays. You can pretty much buy kit, put it up, and suddenly you've got a wireless network.
Yeah.
But they don't understand the concept of how wireless works. That beaming and shouting at the highest dBs that you can is not the solution to get better signal. It's
Yeah.
actually causing more noise than anything else. So the light, yes, old tech, obviously they fine tuning it, they improving it a little bit. Light is fiber optic. If you had to look at fiber optic is just controlling light within a glass fiber. N- if you understand the different wavelengths of light, because you get red, green. I mean, how many different colors do you get?
Yeah.
You get millions of colors. So, and with the muxing and demuxing units, you actually take one strand of fiber, and this I'm deviating from Li-Fi,
Well,
but it's the same concept.
yeah.
It just, instead of using air as a medium, you're using fiber as a medium, and you can obviously take it over many kilometers without having any issues. So Li-Fi has its place, but it has to be very, very decisive where you're going to use it, and if you're going to have that issue of outdoor interference, being the rain or mist or whatever the scenario is, that intensity will get impacted. And internally, definitely an option to use if you use it inside of a controlled environment, to link up different points instead of running hundreds and hundreds of meters of fiber from one point to another. You put up two laser links and you link them together, and you've got basically the same effect. So, there's a place for it. It's just a matter of where.
As you say, the biggest thing there is that interference.
But now
Not
it also
necessarily.
comes down to how much would this cost the average person to put in their home?
Look, it's not cheap. It's like any tech. If it's widely adopted, then it becomes affordable to the consumer. Unfortunately, it's not widely adopted, so it's let's call it a prototype level price. So you are going to pay a bit of money. Again, don't get me wrong, in terms of wireless now, thinking about Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7 that's coming out. I mean, you get absolutely insane speeds with those frequencies. Obviously, the factor on that is you start losing distance. You have to, your range becomes a bit less in terms of the higher the frequency goes. So now you start looking at more licensed equipment. You start looking at, again, expensive equipment, because now it's specific to a frequency that is dedicated to a license holder. So not everyone buys it. So when you have things on an open band, 2.4, 5.8, it's dime a dozen. I mean, there's so much out there, you'll definitely get a bargain, but unfortunately, that kind of tech is expensive, and only when it's practically implemented will be cheaper.
What kind of encryption packet? How does Li-Fi encrypt itself? Still standard encryption?
Look, I won't say it's encryption, because it's just a medium that it's using. Obviously, if I look at again fiber, it's the same scenario. You've got your optical, call it a SFP, that's in a switch, for example, and on the other side it's got a transmit and receive, and all it does is the data communication is on the switcher side. The medium is like a copper cable. There's technically no encryption in there. The encryption occurs on the hardware side of things, and then pushes it through the medium.
Amagelang was saying yes, Li-Fi is apparently said to be safer from eavesdropping. So I'm assuming
that's what I was going to say. It's like a bit of encryption. Like I meant kind of like with the ethical hacking that I studied, like packet sniffing is like one of your main ways of getting information.
Thing is,
with Li-Fi, it would be it would be quite difficult, I guess, to sniff those packets.
It would be difficult. The thing is, with like SSL and that type of thing, if SSL is not inherently just secure, if you grab it on the handshake, it's no longer secure.
100%.
Like then you have the SSL, the private or public key. You have it. So you are able to monitor that tunnel, You're not necessarily breaking in from outside, but and this is the thing. This is why SSL as an example, they offer these outlandish payments to if the certificate gets broken. You know, some of them offer like it's something crazy. It's like $12 million and stuff like this. I believe the one of the Kaspersky ones actually with that with $12 million, and it's $1,000 certificate that you can buy.
Yeah.
Because the SSL itself never really ever gets broken. It's people that catch the handshake. So I suppose you could do it with any form of network, right, sir?
Yeah, look, the biggest thing, if I take wireless,
Yeah.
yes, there is encryption in the connection. You've got your SSIDs, you've got your Wi-Fi keys, you've got all of that. The medium itself, if you can connect to the access point, which is now on the router side, decrypt the encryption, you can hack it, you can sniff it, you can do whatever you want, especially if a unit is broadcasting.
Yeah.
So once a unit is actually broadcasting, that you can actually pick up a signal, you can potentially connect to that signal.
Yeah.
If you have the correct information. So so there is encryption in terms of wireless connectivity. There has to be to keep that, but it is something that you can connect to because it's a wide band. You know, it's not just like light directional point to point, where you literally have to, if you intercept that light, you break it.
Yeah.
And that's why the Li-Fi would be more secure.
Yeah.
Because to split light you can with splitters and all of that, but it's something that you can't just, by the way, do.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to break the connection. You have to bring in the connection, then split the connection off again. So there's a physical thing you have to do to intercept that light, and then try to replicate it and duplicate it to, through a router and say, okay, I'm just passing this light through, but all you're doing is just sending the data past. So with Wi-Fi, obviously, because it's broadcasting, there's the potential of hacking it or breaking the encryption or slip, kind of getting the encryption key and kind of getting connected to it, because it's serving multiple units. So once that is the fact of I'm broadcasting, that means something can potentially connect to it that's not the original unit that's it's intended for.
No. That's so Darkson saying, that's why vampire clamps won't work with fiber. It breaks the light. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But yeah. Okay. So next topic. LG is going to start offering subscriptions for TVs and appliances. So they currently are sitting at a revenue of $51 billion. I'm assuming that's per year. They believe that this is going to take them to $78 billion by allowing people to basically, I suppose it's just giving a credit type of thing. But the question here comes in with this now like subscription model for the TVs and the appliances and that type of thing. If the new one comes out, if you're still paying your subscription, does that mean that you get the new one? Like, how are they going to handle it like that? Are they going to handle it? It's a question,
I get that. Like, for me, it's like that kind of look like they'd have to do like a premium subscription, I guess. Like, you get your standard subscription.
Like
I guess
that
the way that
thing.
I'd look at it as like, get your standard subscription, and let's say you get a full kitchen.
Yeah.
Let's say whatever. But then I guess if you pay the premium, then that kind of has the option of every year or whatever, you get upgraded or so forth and so on. Because it doesn't make sense for LG to get the old products back. That doesn't make sense to me personally.
But it also doesn't make sense in terms of like, if someone stops paying their subscription, what
I was
then?
about to say, like if you stop paying your subscription, you lose your kitchen.
Yeah, someone just walk in and start taking an oven out the wall.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's more, because it seems to be more of a, if I read this in terms of ad revenue. So
Yeah.
basically, what they're saying is it's almost like that freemium software or
Yeah.
ad-based software. So
Yeah.
basically, the way I understand they want to do this is to say, okay, they almost got that thin queue ecosystem
Yeah.
Yeah.
for all LG products.
Yeah.
So if I look at it in terms of, let's say, connect your TV, your washing machine, your dryer, your oven, your microwave, everything, and you can fully control it remotely.
Yeah. Then I suppose
Then
because
you
then you
would
can disable
pay,
it.
you would pay for that
Yeah.
facility to say, oh wait, I can actually control and manage my devices on a premium level, almost like what EWLink did with Sonoff devices, etc. So you
Yeah.
got your standard software that's free,
Yeah.
that you can control your devices and do your thing, but with a premium now you can do it through the web. You don't have to do it through your phone. You've got certain automation services that's kind of part of the thing. Integration with different platforms is kind of included in the premium package.
Yeah.
If this then that, now you've got access to that. Now you can put scenes through third-party APIs.
Yeah.
So it's adding value to say, you know what, here's my basic thing, which is a TV with its software, with all your normal apps. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not going to say, okay, you got to pay X rand for Netflix app to be able to be activated.
Yeah.
I think that's pushing. I think that's pushing it a little bit. But I
Yeah.
think it's more the thing of, and I see here about ads
Yeah.
where on their LG OS
Yeah.
that they actually going to push ads
Yes.
if you don't take a premium
Yeah.
subscription
So-
and
Dog.
link the
okay,
service.
so
Something
I
like
thought
that.
it was more like if you don't pay your subscription, your toaster suddenly goes like, "Use that credit
No.
card."
I mean, there is that whole thing of they will own nothing and be happy about it, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
That's. But
That's a different revolution right there.
Yeah.
If they're going to say, I know that switches.
Yeah.
If we're now basing the subscription model onto vehicles, I mean BMW has started with that subscription model
Yeah.
where you can actually unlock features
Yeah.
in
Through.
your vehicle. So you buy a vehicle, it's technically got all the features
Mm.
that you can possibly imagine, but now you actually pay extra for additional features, maybe some extra smart software features on the thing, or maybe even certain functionality in terms of the additional comforts and so on in your vehicle. So
But like
with
that,
LG, same thing. It's like you've
that's the
got
thing
full
though.
features,
So
but
they
it limits.
like with a BMW thing, right? They, I believe, and I stand on a correction here, but they brought it to a thing that you can't just buy the full thing anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to buy the subscription, or you have to pay the subscription. It's let me pay once, and I want the whole thing. Don't let me pay a subscription and then it's never actually mine. Different story again, coming from the accessibility side of things. But if you are able to pay for the full amount, why can I not do that?
Yeah.
I think that's sort
Yeah.
of my question there, sir.
Look, I think if I look at even Ford,
Mm.
not that they really enable or disable features, but if I look at it in terms of the new Ford Rangers, for example, you can access your vehicle from anywhere
Yeah.
via your phone. So you can pre-warm up the engine, pre-warm up, switch on the aircon, that type of stuff before you get into a vehicle. So there's certain things that, number one, need a connection
Yeah.
to a cloud hosted system,
Yeah.
cloud platform. And I think this is where all of these guys are trying to justify what the subscription scenario is all about.
Yeah.
That you are paying for accessibility to your vehicle, almost, I won't say like tracking,
Yeah.
that you pay a premium for tracking of your vehicle, tracking your speeds, and all of that. That's now again a different service that you pay a subscription for. But I think
Yeah.
it's that access to premium features, kind of giving you that remote control of your vehicle. Same with
Yeah.
Merc and that. And obviously there's software development behind it. There's hosting behind it. So
No,
I think
exactly.
they're trying to literally say, you know, I'll sell a car, but now I've got to maintain this electronic function, which is now cloud-based or whatever, and it's costing them money, and they want to kind of make sure they make the revenue for that
Yeah.
extra expense they've gone through. So
Like
maybe it's method to madness.
I
but,
get
you know,
I
yeah.
get that. The thing is, and like if there's a added benefit, like again, like you say, starting the engine remotely, you know, getting the warm up process going, etc., etc. That's fine. But like Darkson's saying, yeah, if they lock like apparently some of HP printers, they lock the
Yes.
devices if you don't pay.
correct.
So
Oh wow.
this is one of those big things, you know, that it's at what point do you like, oh, you've said the wrong thing on social media now, like obviously this is the way extreme, you know, but you've said the wrong thing on social media now your car doesn't want to start in the morning, you know, because you've got too many demerits.
I
Elon
think
said no.
Yeah, Elon said.
Yeah.
Look,
You
the
diss
biggest
Twitter.
thing for me is if there's a service that you pay for,
Yeah,
whether it be a notification service or something like that,
yeah,
the fact that they, and this would be unethical, I think. If I buy a printer,
Yeah.
I should be able to print.
Oh.
That's the minimum expectation. I'll buy cartridges, I'll do
Yeah.
whatever it needs, and obviously the printer guys are pushing to avoid compatible print cartridges.
Yes.
They want to push for fully using genuine ink.
yeah, yeah.
So I understand chipping the ink and chipping the
Yeah,
whole thing that you can't use, you know, reused or empty cartridges and
yeah,
obviously there's workarounds and all of that, but besides that, but to actually lock down your printer because you're not paying some sort of subscription that you're not
yeah.
using,
Yeah,
that is kind of pushing the whole thing of I've got a dead weight now
yeah. But
because of something that you're forcing me to pay monthly, which just that's
not
borderline unethical, I think.
Yeah.
It's like I 100% agree with you. So if you buying a car, let me drive the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
The seat warmers, all that, fine. I still don't like it. I would prefer if you could just pay once off for it. But at the same time, like they at least not stopping the car from moving. You know, they exactly like you say, the corporate or the core function of what you purchased it for is still there. You know.
Yeah, that's the minimum expectation I feel.
Yeah.
If I signed for something that must do X, Y, and Z, it must do that
Yeah.
until it breaks.
Yeah.
That's the minimum requirement. But what I've seen as well with switches, routers,
Yeah.
it looks like the manufacturing companies are they want to produce one product
Yeah.
and say this router based on modules that you can pay for, software unlocks. Basically you purchase licenses.
Yeah.
So I understand the saving on manufacturing, kind of you have one production line, you can focus everything into that one production. That I understand, to say, okay, I've got potentially a fully featured device.
Yeah.
I'm paying base model price and it must do base model functions.
Yeah.
But now I wanted to handle a bit more speed. I wanted to enable this. I wanted to do VLANs now. I wanted to do, you know, OSPF and BGP. I want all these features unlocked.
Yeah.
But then it must be justified to say, okay, I've got future-proofed hardware.
Yeah.
I buy once, and it's going to last me. Let's say they guarantee it for 5 years or whatever, and you grow and you unlock as you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's method to that madness as well.
No, that's understandable,
But still, subscription to say you have to pay monthly for something, and then thing just stops working totally and utterly dead.
Becomes a brick.
That
now-
kind of pushes it too far, I think.
The question is, do you guys feel that this whole subscription ideology with companies is going too far? Like in 5 years, are we going to have these Russian companies going to have like a subscriber bride? Monthly for your Russian bride.
Yeah,
Monthly
look,
for the Russian bride.
I think everyone is looking for that continuous revenue stream.
Yeah. But
And I think that's their way of saying, you know what, we've grown a business, we've got our sales stats, but we don't have that consistent monthly income. And that's the thing that they're craving, to say this will sustain us when someone's bought something and for 5 years they're not going to buy again.
Yeah.
So I think it's their workaround, but
thing is though, sir, like again, if it's adding value, by all means. Look at Apple. Apple didn't start with cloud stuff. They didn't start with, that is a service that made them big. Definitely. But again, it added absolute value. Like people, they could not go without their iCloud and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And they eventually made it so that you have sort of a basic version, even if you just purchase the device,
Yeah.
That is a good, and as against Apple as I am, that's still a great thing that they've done. I love their privacy policies, that type of thing. I think that's the right way to go. So instead of these subscriptions for all these extra things, and then like Darkson was saying, a car becomes an IoT device, unless it needs to be. No, don't. That I was like. I want a Tesla one day. That's that's sort of my dream car, just because the technology inside. But at the same time, like nothing is stopping Tesla from actually just making it a brick one day. If whatever happens.
Everything is software based, and it comes back again to the programming and what the up and coming generation is going to be geared for.
Exactly.
So look, at any point in time, I guess pretty much anything in this planet can be bricked at like a snap finger. Someone says, you know what, I'm taking over. I know there's security policies and terms and conditions and there's all these things that's supposed to protect the end customer, but if these giants decide one day, I'm just going to change something. I mean, you are in that environment. You can't just say, I'm going to change all my stuff to something else.
No,
They've
exactly.
got you.
Exactly.
They have you. So
a simple example is our clients, with internet. And with the push of the button, we can switch off the whole network. And the clients are sitting there. They can't now all of a sudden get another fiber line in. Fiber activation takes a while. Exact same thing. So again, we don't do that because it's number one, obviously, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, horrible. It's like you just kill the business. But number two, not ethical. Number three, all these different things. But like if someone, and again, there's no 100% secure system in the world. Someone gets in, it's not us. We didn't open the door for them. We've done everything that we knowingly can to secure the network, but at the same time, what do you call it? Quantum computers can start operating properly tomorrow. And that's the whole thing, because they were saying that quantum computers are going to just be able to destroy SSL, because they will be able to run those calculations that should take trillions of years and all this type of stuff on standard computers. They'd just be able to run it in like 10 minutes. So
look,
all these
we've seen it. We've seen it. I mean, the recommended length of passwords now and complexity has gone from know a 5, letter password with a capital letter here and there, no
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
sorted. Now it's like 15 characters to be like properly,
Yeah.
within parameters. The next one's going to be 30. But
Yeah.
I mean, then you're looking at passkeys, two-factor authentications. All of these things are just added on just to kind of avoid you typing 30 times on your keyboard to get into like one login.
And again, a simple thing, like so many people think two-factor authentication is a massive leap forward in security. If I have access to the database, your two-factor authentication means nothing because I know the code that should be put in.
Yes.
Well, dude, you say that. So, recently I went through that whole issue of where a cell phone in the house became an open port.
Yeah.
So, that whole thing went down, right?
Yeah.
Well, the scariest thing that I dealt with was I received a call, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as I received that call, it activated a preloaded script,
Yeah.
right? That cloned and auto-forwarded my SIM card.
Yeah.
Wow.
See.
So if someone actually wanted to get my two-factor authentication, then that was done
No,
by
it
SMS
would-
or whatever, it's done.
Exactly.
No,
There's
you know what I mean?
there's so many moving parts these days.
Yep.
That you intercept one part of the link, one
Yep.
part of the chain of events. You're good. You're good to go.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
basically what people do. So
Yeah, that's why, especially in iClicks, and I mean, Gareth, you can attest to that in knock department and so on. The focus is daily
Yeah.
on security
yeah.
and upping the security of the network, just level to level. And again, respect to all our knock guys that are working diligently, day in, day out, kind of keeping abreast of all these security attacks and all these ransomware attacks and all these things happening. So
No.
that's why in this industry, like you said earlier, it's a dynamic field. It's changing on a daily basis. If you think you are at the top, at the pinnacle, you are there,
Yeah.
you are just bluffing yourself.
No, exactly.
You are taking a very naive look at reality
Yeah.
and not realizing that we talk about ChatGPT giving answers and code in seconds,
Yeah.
split seconds, where it would take a day or two for a normal coder to put the thing together. So,
Exactly.
I mean, how much computing is in this world that's just available?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have just talking peer-to-peer and torrents and all of that, I mean, it's the same principle.
Mm.
If you've got a certain software on your PC and this thing decides you guys are now, I'm going to use your computer's power
Yeah.
to start,
Yep.
do whatever.
calculating some break into some hack.
Yeah.
And you don't know. Your PC is actually contributing to this hack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you blatantly happy and everything's still working and
Yeah.
Playing
you
Roblox,
just in Roblox.
Yeah,
and
playing
then-
Roblox. No, exactly. And but I mean, I think that's the biggest thing there. So even going the other side of that now, with LastPass, what happened to them a while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just straight up social engineering.
100%.
All that happened was that a single person got compromised, and they got the keys like that.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like, that's actually one of the things. Okay, we'll do that some other podcast,
Yeah.
because that's a very long
That's
thing.
the deep one, that one.
But yeah, simple stuff like that, So yeah. But to end off tonight, because otherwise we'll be going forever. Tate Elon,
Elon Musk.
he is creating a software or an AI company, XAI. So he's grabbing a whole bunch of different people from Google's DeepMind, Microsoft, Tesla, all these different people to come together.
Counter Skynet, right?
Yes. So yeah, he's basically putting all of this together to start this company. I was watching Linus Tech Tips with them talking about this. It was quite funny. They just like, this would be his 6th company, and he's just gonna find time, you know. I don't know. This is like, so you've got one company to worry about technically. Technically,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
technically it's more than one
it's
company.
more
but-
than one, but
So,
yeah,
so to answer your question,
Yes.
is there time for more? I guess there's always some time
Yeah.
somewhere. It's just less sleep. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I suppose
What-
with I think what people also don't realize though is that Elon Musk doesn't do much of the actual work as someone in his position should. You know, he should not be there on the front line. You know, in the assembly, just tightening some nuts. You know that's he shouldn't be doing that. Again, if
Didn't
there's
you know every Tesla is built by Elon?
every Tesla's built by Elon. Like if by all means, and he's proven it, he will jump in there. You know, he sleeps in the office, that type of thing. So he's proved
Yeah.
that he's willing to do the hard work. That's not what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people misunderstand that like he does actually have time on his hands to do this type of thing because he puts people in place for him. You know.
Yeah, that's the whole concept. I think when I started, and Gerard and David
Yeah.
and all of us started in this industry, you know, we were all one-man shows.
No.
You know, kind of got a vision, got a dream, you know, doing our best, putting in the time. I mean, I remember when I started, it wasn't just Paracam, which was my first IT business. I was actually, you know, working at the Technicon or at the CUT. At that time, I was involved in the Rapid Prototyping Center. Was running an IT business on the side, dropping off PCs. I was lecturing. So
Yes,
there I was involved physically. So I was working weekends, I was working nights, I was formatting PCs, building PCs at night. I had
Yeah.
revamped my little room into like a little production line. So, you know, it was my thing. And obviously, as you grow, you realize, but you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And that's when you start getting your partners in. That's kind of also started something, and you start putting people in place that's got knowledge.
Yeah.
Just you kind of direct it. You
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
stimulate the thought. You stimulate the idea. And I mean, that's where most of even Microsoft and all of them, I mean,
Oh,
Steve
exactly.
Jobs from Apple, Steve Jobs had brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
He couldn't necessarily code it himself,
No.
but he had his vision,
Yeah.
and he said, guys, I need you guys to make this happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he kind of put set goals and things in place. And I mean, that's where we are now.
Yeah.
We have to have the people that are passionate about their work, doing their work, and finding the next thing
Yeah.
to improve it. And that is why we have focus on key people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, no, iClicks is us.
Yeah.
iClicks is
Yeah.
not us. iClicks is everybody
No,
that
exactly.
works at iClicks. From the smallest to the most senior person, everybody has their part. And it's the same with any business. So Elon is doing it right.
Exactly.
You know, managing people so that they can manage the people under them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of just guides them and says, I want this done.
Yeah.
I know this is possible. Let's get it done. He obviously has got his what, the astrophysicist in
Well,
his.
he didn't. He never had that initially. So
He never had it initially.
well,
so
that's one of the things that I do respect about him. Like he is a very loose cannon, and what we're gonna end off on
yeah,
perfectly shows that. But I fully respect that because he put the time and work into actually understanding basically the entire process as how it works. I've got a very big thing with that. Like if you don't understand the whole process, why would I have respect for you outside of what I've been taught to always respect people, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. Uh,
That's a big thing.
Yeah, look, everyone is, like I say, I know a lot of things
Yeah,
and the basic principles of how things work
yeah,
so that I can help myself
yeah,
guide the process and help those that are doing the work to
Yeah.
say, but have you thought about this? Have you thought about
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Just a kind of a different perspective because
'Cause
I'm not,
the thing is, so like, there's been
knowledgeable
multiple
in
times.
everything, but no.
There's been multiple times that you've walked in, and just like, okay, but that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Well, dude,
Yeah,
I think
like
it
that.
comes down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it comes down to is like if you understand things, then you are able to understand the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Because if
also you're able to see the overview. I would say, dude.
Yeah,
is
100%.
and that's the big thing there, because like, especially with coders and that you have a thing called code blindness, where everything like everything that you're looking at right now says that it should work, it should be fine, it should, and then again, like I say, so there's been multiple times that you've walked in there and it's just been like, oh, okay, yeah. Yes.
It's a perspective.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is like you said, code blindness. It's
Yeah.
the same as the olden days where it was writer's block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't see beyond it. You
Yeah.
can't go to the next step, and you just need kind of like, but what about this?
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
oh, okay, wait a minute. It's I always use that example of the 3D block.
Yeah.
You know, you're staring at the block in one facet. You actually need to see it from all the facets, and sometimes that person comes in, you know, and kind of sees it from behind. It says, hey, wait, you missed something, it's unplugged.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's not working.
No.
you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
It's simple
It's simple
stuff,
thing. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like you sometimes know too much
Yeah.
that you actually make a simple problem complex,
Exactly.
and then you get someone that knows just enough
Yeah.
to say, but did you check this and this? And it's like, oh, it's actually like the first steps.
Yeah.
You
that
know,
should
go
have.
back to the basics.
Exactly.
Go back
Yeah.
to the basics. Sometimes that's the only solutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So, but yeah. So, speaking of back to the basics, there, I suppose, is Threads. Threads is
Yeah.
now the most downloaded app. It beat ChatGPT. So
Really?
it got 100 million downloads in 5 days.
Oh wow.
But me and John was
Organic-
speaking. Yes.
Organic growth.
Me and John was speaking about this. It's a Twitter thing. So if you logged into Twitter, you can log into Threads.
Yeah.
So the sign up process and that.
Instagram as well.
Oh,
isn't
sorry.
it?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Instagram. Apologies. If you've got an Instagram, you can log into Threads there. So it's it's a one-click sign-in, you know.
yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I have to put my details into a new site now, which stops a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got 100 million people, and yeah.
The interest dropped very quickly.
Yes. So
Oh, wow.
apparently, the daily active users on Android hit its peak of 49 million on 7th of July, and then which was a day after the launch. I don't know if it hit its peak then, but yeah, that was then. And 14th of July, it's less than half. It's 23.6 million.
Oh wow.
So I mean, to be fair, we're giving it shit. Because look at how much it dropped. It's still 23.6 million people logging into that thing.
Yeah.
So
Look, it's like anything. Threads is still in its infancy. Obviously, there's a lot of features that they still have to work on. This is now kind of a test period where they now getting the feedback from the people. What would you like to add? All the additional features. I think I saw the one video which was kind of the whole thing of Threads. Twitter is like say what you want.
Yes.
You know, it's like blatantly can say pretty much whatever. It's a very open platform.
Yeah.
But Threads seems to be a bit more reserved, a bit more PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely trying to make sure the content is not extreme. So that's possibly the one thing that differentiates it between Twitter and Threads. Where you want guaranteed proper content or whatever. I think Threads is trying to set a different ecosystem again. Again, it's part of Meta. So
Yeah.
this is all part of this massive plan to centralize a
Yeah.
communication platform that kind of pulls all different avenues, one for advertising, one for communication, and.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if maybe they'll integrate or change WhatsApp into Threads. I don't know, or maybe integrate it into WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Anything's
there's always
possible.
that possibility. So,
But
the
again,
thing is, so WhatsApp is actually not very popular in America. So you know that.
yeah, no, Twitter is, and what else do
So
they use there?
Instagram is very popular in America.
Yes,
For communication. WhatsApp's very good. Yeah. What do you call it? WeChat is China and that, obviously. So they're extremely popular that in those areas, India, that type of thing. The thing with Facebook is solely a social network company. They haven't done things like Google has done, that they branched out from just being a search engine or a search company or an online company. They do data centers, they do networks, they do all these different things. And yes, Facebook's sort of been doing that. Has Facebook laid any fiber in that, sir? I don't think so. They've got some stakes in fiber, right?
Yeah, no, they
Some of the big
definitely
fiber
have
lines, but
capacity on existing fiber. And obviously their data center stuff.
Point I'm trying to make though is that they haven't really branched out from what they do. And that's fine, but look at what's been happening with social media and how it's been changing and that type of thing. If you don't have other sources of revenue and your core revenue takes a hit, what are you going to do? Is there already plans in place, for to keep moving forward as a company? Because I don't think Facebook had that. A year ago, they didn't. Now they've got, obviously, or I would say 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't. Now they've got the Quest, the headsets there. That's why they were pushing so hard on Meta, on it becoming like the metaverse and that type of thing, because they wanted to cordon off like they are the kings of the metaverse type of thing, because they sort of saw that as their next opportunity. But now with Threads, it might be another side of things, but again, it's still a social media thing, There isn't really a consumer side to it, so I'd say. I don't know.
The one thing on this other video that I saw, where it was like comparing Zuckerberg with Elon, that's Elon is a business person that's involved in many industries and coding, and I mean PayPal and so one thing that Mark has always been in from the start, and he's the one that kind of created it, was social media. He was in it from the start, so he's got the most experience in that specific industry. That's why probably his focus is very communications, social media, advertising. But one thing that they pointed out, which I see as maybe the main reason and strength of Facebook and all of these facets of the metaverse, is political influence. Because Facebook has all your information, your religion, your your political stance. I mean, all of that is options that you pick. So now they creating a platform where maybe it's this international media house. Say, I can now push focused political stances. I can pay the right amount of money. I can get the right, and I mean, he's got so much client information.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
it's
so
insane.
much social information that you can literally formalize a ad to pinpoint a specific group of people, a
Yep.
specific person.
Well, that's exactly what they
based
did
on
with
all
Cambridge
these factors.
Analytica. So
Exactly.
they
So
literally
analytics,
influenced elections.
yeah, and
So-
and I think that's the one thing we mustn't forget.
Yeah,
The influence is there in terms of he's got so much information in terms of
Yeah.
client information that
it's
he
yeah,
can sell to the highest bidder or use as a marketing tool
yeah,
for the highest bidder.
yeah.
So you know, that's his focus.
That-
So obviously he's delving and keeping in that influential space because
Yeah.
that's where everyone is. And I mean, he's got control of, I mean, billions
Yeah.
of people on Facebook. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
no, and
But also,
across the
the lack
board.
of-
Yeah,
The lack of evolution coming out of Facebook, I feel, is kind of like it's going to become a demise.
yeah.
yeah, that's
That's what the thing is, though. They are falling behind on Facebook itself, yes, but then again, they are doing things like Threads. Instagram has got the younger kids, you know.
Yeah.
What do you call it? WhatsApp, obviously, in different regions, not necessarily in America and that type of
Yeah.
thing. All these different things, you know. I mean, all of us in South Africa speak on WhatsApp, you know. It's WhatsApp or Telegram. Those are your literal two options. No one ever says like, oh yeah, just add me on Instagram. I don't think anyone outside of like streamers and that in South Africa say that type of thing.
Yeah.
true.
So it's a bit hectic, but yeah, I mean, even Andrew Tate actually came out on this, and he was saying something along the lines of like screw Zuckerberg, because Musk made everything completely freedom of speech on Twitter, and now everyone betrayed him and went to Threads. And I somewhat agree with that. I don't like censorship in terms of, especially in terms of an individual's voice. I mean, that's literally what democracy and all that type of stuff is built on, you know, so that the individual has a voice somewhere along the line. So whenever like someone else decides, oh, what you are saying is not right according to me, you should not be able to say it anymore. That I don't like. If what that person is saying is harming people, then I agree. But if it's not harming anyone and you don't like it just because you don't like it, or it's harming your feelings, completely different scenario, you know. It's we always have to have people that don't like us, that don't agree with us, that don't see things the same way we do, so that we can be better. It's like
100%.
that's literally where most of our technology and our innovation comes from, is when there's wars, when there's, it's not nice to think about it like that, but that's facts. It's when there's massive problems facing you or massive challenges facing you. That's where the biggest innovation comes from.
Yep.
So for Facebook and the metaverse or whatever to have that cordoned off, I don't agree with. But yeah, well, we'll see what comes out of Threads, I suppose.
Yeah, look, it's I think it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of hype, as we saw with the sudden use, and then obviously the people saw, look, it's not as functional, so the drop.
They've
But-
done- yeah,
But again, everything in life, nobody will agree on everything.
yeah,
That's why there's choice.
yeah,
I think it comes down to when someone's voice is out to destroy a certain group or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, a group that's harming others, you know, it's unethical,
Yeah.
it's not moral,
Yeah.
all of those things. You know, there's certain guidelines in humanity
correct.
that kind of guide us to, you know, if you're attacking someone because you think you're bigger than them,
Yeah, that's
and just
not
because you
on.
want to destroy them.
Yeah.
I feel there's also some social education need, you
Yeah.
know, giving someone power
Yeah.
of words and they don't understand what words do
Yeah, that's also
is
a big
actually
thing.
my biggest thing with having anyone and say, you know what, you are given the opportunity to voice your opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Think about the impact.
Yes.
Is it destructive?
Yeah.
Or is it constructive?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the things are to defamate, to destroy,
Yeah.
to, you know, completely have a negative impact. You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind saying, you know what, this company is not great. You
Yeah.
know, I've done my research, I've followed all the channels,
Yeah.
I've understand the problem, and they just blatantly don't want to help me.
Yeah.
You know, then I understand you putting your voice down.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. You have the voice.
Yeah.
But not understanding the problem, not following the channels, having one bad experience, and then flaming the company or flaming that person
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
That's not.
because you're frustrated,
Yeah.
kind of takes it to the point of, you know what, think before you talk,
Yeah.
understand that words are a sword.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole thing is what you write, the pen is mightier than the sword. I mean, that's a statement that's existed for
Years and-
ever.
Yeah.
What you write can destroy someone. I mean, we've seen it with young kids
Yeah. Yeah.
where the bullying doesn't stop at school, for example.
Yeah.
It continues on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we, in the olden days, when we were at school and social media wasn't a thing, you would maybe be bullied at school,
Yeah.
but you would go home to a safe haven and you can kind of recover and kind
Yeah.
of think and get advice and all of that. Now you're just constantly bombarded and you just, and this is why you get all these things of depression has increased and
Yeah.
you know, all this mental disorders and you know, the suicide attempts and all of these things come up because of this power that's given to immature individuals,
Yeah.
and they feel it's funny
Yeah.
to break someone down, you know, and that is why I think that education in schools should include that,
Yes.
to say, guys, this is what this does.
Yeah.
You know, this is what power you have. Use
Yeah.
it responsibly, you know, and that's the education that's lacking, I think, as well. In terms of that, but yeah,
Thing is, there's a lot of. I mean, myself and Ninja come from the days of our mothers. People had intercourse with our mothers like every second game we were in.
yeah,
Yeah,
And-
mama's so fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was just standard, and I suppose that's where we built up the hard resistance to it. But
Well, dude, also, if you think about it, back in the 90s, dude,
yeah,
you were allowed to be toxic and say things, and when you were younger, you either figured out to have comebacks,
Yeah.
or
well, you were
yeah,
you just got destroyed. But that's the thing that we sort of had to learn by ourselves. So I agree with you that people need to be taught, on the one hand, that their words have power, but also the people that are receiving it need to be taught that it should not hold power over them when it is an immature individual, when it is someone that is not, you know, as an example, the person's never done what you're currently doing and they complaining or they whatever. Sorry, your voice it doesn't matter to me, you know. You can have your voice, you can say your say,
Yep.
but it doesn't matter to me because you've never done it, you've never attempted it.
yep,
That's and I think that's what, on the receiving side, a lot of people don't get taught these days, is that they don't know how to deal with the people that are throwing shit at them.
it's like
No,
I remember.
it's true.
I remember hearing a saying once that goes, "Are you so weak that mere words hurt you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know what I mean?
that's what a lot of people are boiling down to these days,
Yep.
and it's sad to see because it's yeah, they are allowing that voice to get to them where
Yeah.
it should not. And again, it's not their fault, you know. It's the person who's saying it. They should understand what they are saying can be destructive. But at the same time, it's just sad to see that people don't have those mechanisms to be able to deal with it and move forward.
No, it is. It is. I think the biggest education comes from home,
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the parents, because they're the ones that, kind of been through it.
yeah,
They should also understand that giving a digital device that has got the ability for that communication to happen,
yeah,
your child must understand what can come of it.
yeah,
And they must also be comforted and helped in terms of don't keep it to yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
If something doesn't feel right or sound right, let us know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If you keep the channels open for communication, I think that helps, because I
Yeah.
feel a lot of parents are not, they're not involved
yeah,
in their kids' lives. They've got maybe a perception of, send them to school. It's the teacher's responsibility.
yeah.
Not actually.
It's
It's your responsibility to know what's happening in your child's life, because the teachers are there to teach.
Yeah.
So they give the work that's instructed, part
Yeah.
of the curriculum, and they need to get tests done, and that's their job.
exactly.
Not to teach your children necessarily, about everything in life.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you also don't want other people teaching your kids other principles, morals that you don't believe,
Exactly.
and then be surprised when your child
Yeah.
turns out to be like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, did you notice that you actually talk with your child?
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to one perspective, and that is everyone should take responsibility for whatever they do,
Yeah.
and understand they should be accountable
Big
for
thing.
what
Yeah.
they do.
No, big
and-
thing.
Accountability is the thing that I think is sometimes lacking.
Yeah.
It's just given this power with no consequence, and that's a problem.
And I think so. Like it comes down to the schoolboy analogy type of thing. There's a reason why people from hostels and that actually do well in life is
Yeah.
because they have those. Like if you're gonna do something with a girl or whatever that's inappropriate, whatever. Like the guys that I used to hang out with, they would beat you up for that, like physically beat you up, and it doesn't sound great. That's not a good way to deal with it
They're not
necessarily.
promoting violence.
Correct,
Yes.
correct. Not promoting violence, but at the same time, you need that, not the violence part, the physical violence,
Yeah.
please, not that part, but you need people around you to be able to say, hey, whoa, listen, dude,
Yep.
what you are doing now is wrong.
Yep.
And again, that's where those differing opinions come in. That's where those, you can't be around people that are just, yeah, no, do it. Because
Yeah.
then you are going to get into major problems and
Yeah.
sometimes life-threatening or life-ruining situations.
Yeah,
One
but
thing,
yeah,
no, I was gonna say the one thing I agree with you. They do it like at least with boarding schools.
Yeah.
It taught you that code, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah,
And not only that is exactly like you said, is when we were younger there were repercussions
Yeah.
to doing something stupid.
Yeah.
And I think in this day and age with everything being so PC,
No.
there are no repercussions like to the point where parents will never give their child a spanking if they've done something really bad. It's
Yeah.
always all like,
Yeah.
oh no, but that's maybe therapy instead of like, you know what, they just needed a good smack on the hand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get consequences for setting my car on fire.
Yeah.
move on. You know what I mean?
It's I think it boils down to that thing is understanding value of everything that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it going to cause? What is the cause and outcome? And that's as you were saying.
But
earlier.
isn't the physical, and it comes back to that point of the having friends
Yeah.
and not having just digital friends,
Yeah.
because you need to do stuff together.
Yeah.
You have to see the consequence. You learn through action.
Exactly.
You learn that if I hit someone, they get hurt,
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
get hit back. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where on social media it's just flinging of words. There's
Exactly.
no physical feeling, and sometimes that's where the human interaction is kind of key, where
Yeah.
there's consequence to your decision. If you're going to run into a wall, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
If you're going to tackle someone and you think you're big and everything, and you misjudge the situation, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's
this is where the software
yeah.
side of things have kind of
Yeah.
made that buffer of
Yeah.
I can say something, but you can't come and hit me, or you can't
Yeah.
come and do something. I can
There's
just
no-
mute you or unfriend you, or
Yeah.
you know, there I've blocked you now. But now you see the guy on the street. Now it's a different type of person. He's kind of, kind of taken it personally, and now he physically sees you. Now it becomes a physical thing,
Yeah.
and you like don't know what happened. Where did this all come from? And it was just some words you said like weeks ago in some thread that you read, and you kind of threw some funny comments like ha ha ha, you know.
Yeah.
Just
No,
a
exactly.
joke.
So. And
But that person took it seriously, you know.
the thing is, it comes down to that video of the guy. I don't know if he was drunk or not on the plane behind Mike Tyson. That was just bothering him the whole time, and Mike Tyson just got up and started punching him, started wailing on him, and it again, not promoting that, but people need to realize there's consequences for each action. He posted it previously. He said some people have gotten way too comfortable with not being punched in the face. Again, that's on the physical violence side now, but it's the same thing. It's like you're gonna run around and try and if you're gonna go and pull on a lion's tail, it's probably gonna bite you. It's probably gonna kill you. You know,
Exactly.
it's people need to understand the consequences of each of their actions.
And that's where the kids that aren't exposed to the outside world.
Yeah.
You know, in a game, I jump out of a plane and I fall and I get 50% damage. You know? Oh, okay. Now I just get a med pack, stick myself, boom, I'm 100% yay. That's, if that's a reality, that's the only reality they understand.
Yeah.
Then when they get into the real world, they start realizing, oh, wait a minute, jumping off a building is not a good idea.
Exactly.
You know? It seems silly, but if
they,
your reality is software and
Yeah.
virtual reality,
they've been conditioned to that
then it becomes, oh, I shot someone in the face, whatever. They don't understand that in real life it's got an impact on you emotionally as well.
Yeah.
So it's those things. But I mean, talking about fighting, Elon Musk, Mark, cage fight, what the heck?
So speaking of which, they proposed a cage match with each other, and I think it's very fitting to end off the podcast on this part. This is literally Elon Musk. This is why I say he's a loose cannon. I agree with some parts of the things that he does, but I have
Zuck is a cook.
Yes, Zuck is a cock. And then 8 hours later, I propose a literal dick measuring contest. This guy's comment sums it up perfectly. Zuck's meat was on his mind for 8 hours.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Hence why. I know with the whole cage match, obviously there seems to be a possibility, but it's obviously with a bit of a a charity
Yeah.
underpinning the thing. But I mean, the one thing they say, yes, you know, Mark has kind of been involved in physical things the whole of his life, and
Yeah.
Musk is also now getting into it and training and all of these things. So it will be interesting if it
The-
does
Yeah.
happen.
The
So-
only thing I know is that
Yeah.
Zuckerberg will walk into that ring like Terminator with no emotion.
No emotion, yeah.
Yeah,
And Mark Zuckerberg does know jiu-jitsu.
Oh really?
Yeah. So, but like I was saying, at the end of the day, remember the weight difference and size difference of these men
yeah.
is still a massive thing. It's if it was just jiu-jitsu, different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because jiu-jitsu, like, it's not necessarily based on your size and your weight and all that type
Yeah.
of stuff. If
so
you
you use your opponent's strength against him.
exactly. But
Yeah.
the again, like I say, if Elon lands a few good punches, you know, Zuckerberg is going down. So
True.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't Elon originally born in Bloom?
I can't remember. I don't know where
He
it
was-
was.
Because you guys have to root for him, you know?
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
the Elon, technically speaking, he's not really South African.
Yeah, because I
was
mean
born
he
here.
It's
He-
he had some time in South Africa,
Yeah.
and then they left. So, yeah, so it's
he
a,
was born in Pretoria.
in
Victoria.
Pretoria, and I think it was for
Yeah, 1971, and then I think he left because of the draft or the
Yeah.
mandatory service, I believe, or something like that. I'll tell
Yeah.
you now. Okay, it doesn't say properly. Go away. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
born, there we go.
Yeah, born June 28th. Oh, it was his birthday last month. Interesting. Sold his first video game at the age of 12. He moved to California to attend Stanford. Okay, yeah, I suppose he just went to Stanford. That's basically.
Okay.
I remember reading. I don't know if it was him or not. It might have been someone else, but they moved away because of the draft. Or not the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mandatory service was mandatory service for South Africa. That's also another thing. I do feel that should come back.
Yeah.
The mandatory military service.
Yes, at least for a year, or let's say at most for a year. Just
Yeah.
a year of someone's life, because in any case, like flipping 90% of kids these days are doing this gap year crap.
True.
Yeah.
It's like you literally, if it's a gap year to figure out what you want to do, different story. But if it's a gap year to just go drink and whatever, you literally wasting a year of your life. Stop.
Yeah.
You don't know when it's going to be over, you know.
Exactly.
But
But that's why I say the biggest thing is always just kind of getting a reality check.
Yeah.
Something with structure, something with
Exactly,
like,
exactly so.
rules and
That's the
enforcing
thing.
things.
and
It's not about how you feel.
Yeah.
It's
they
get it
they
done.
they're more than
That's it.
welcome to hate it.
yeah.
Like a lot of people hated it.
Yeah.
But it's still instilled in them so many values that they use today.
Even if it's just discipline.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Discipline, respect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are
That's
the two big things that are lacking nowadays. So,
that is yeah. it's
but yeah,
it's what are you doing when people are not actually watching? That's
Yes.
that's the
Yep.
biggest thing.
that's who you truly are.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. So yeah, no,
So, yeah.
but but that was lekker.
That was good. We've been streaming
3 hours.
for 3 hours and 10 minutes. So
3 hours and 11 minutes.
appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you coming on as a guest tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Next-
having me. Thanks for the good discussion.
Yeah, no, like remember, like I said, we're probably gonna do an hour thing, but we're leaving 2 hours open. This is it's a good podcast when we've gone on for this long.
Yeah.
no,
At like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my lord.
Yes.
yep.
So
It's a good time to
yeah,
go
good.
to bed a
Yes.
bit. You know,
Yeah.
just
Well,
recover,
you mean to
wake up.
to send your last emails now? You mean so?
No, forget about that. I have
Are you-
to be I have to be up at 6.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oh
I've
wait,
gotta
you're
get
you
ready.
leaving tomorrow, eh?
No.
Huh?
That's
Oh
Thursday.
no, yeah,
so,
Thursday. Yeah. We got
yeah.
our meeting tomorrow. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I've got a
so
client at 9, so
I've got a meeting at 7:30 already. So
oof.
it's starting early.
Very
So
nice,
you
very
got-
nice. But
But
Is
it's
it
all
4
good.
hours?
But thanks.
yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ninja, for being
Thank you,
the
G.
beautiful
Thank you, sir,
co-host.
yeah.
Appreciate
I
everyone
was-
watching. Yeah,
I was actually just listening most of this.
yeah. Just, I mean, still.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
just chiming in now and again.
But yeah, so next week or not next week, sorry, next podcast we have Dan coming on from Acer. He has confirmed for us, so he'll be chatting with us there. But yeah, I hope to see you guys then. Have a good one. Bye.